How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today we have a story time of a kid, actually a girl, who wants Skibidi Toilet to impregnate her. Bro, I don't know. You guys are crazy. Gen Alpha is doomed, actually doomed. There's a girl who has a love obsession with Skibidi Toilet. Dude, I know it sounds insane, and trust me, the story is even crazier than what I just said. It is somehow worse than what I just said. I know you'll enjoy the story. So sit back, relax. This is probably going to be a bit of a longer one, so get yourself comfortable. Leave a like in the video right now to claim your free nothing. And also, if you leave a like in the video, you will also get your very own pair of cringe goggles, which will protect you from the cringe in this video, which, trust me, you're going to need it, so leave a like. With that being said, let's just jump right into the story time of the girl who wants a baby with Skibidi Toilet. Dude, end me now. Anyways, there's two guys in the story, two main people, and then also the girl who I'm going to introduce later. But there's a pair of friends, Alex and Will. And Alex is the subscriber who submitted this story, which you can submit a story to me as well. Go to Instagram, look up Connor Pugs. You'll know it's me because I have like almost 2 million on there. My reels do pretty well. Message me your stories, anything that you think would be good for the channel. Follow me, then message me the story. That's how you do it. Anyways, so Alex submitted this story, and Will is also a character who is Alex's best friend. Alex and Will have been best buddies since like before they can even remember. This is one of those friendships where like low-key the parents set up the friendship like from day one. Like as soon as Alex popped out of the womb, Will was sitting right there basically. So they've been boys since day one, and they'll always have each other's back. And throughout this story, like Will definitely is trying to help Alex out. And it's one of those situations, I don't know if you guys have ever been in this situation, comment down below if you have, where your friend is messing up. They're doing something stupid, and it's usually in my case, it's for a girl, or if you're watching this, might be for a guy, I don't know. They're doing it for someone that they're interested in, and they just have these like blinders on. You know that this person is so bad for them, but as much of the good advice you give, they just can't seem to, they can't see what's up until it's too late. And unfortunately in this story, yeah, if you can't already guess, Alex has a crush on this girl, and she turns out to be a psychopath who wants Skibidi Toilet to impregnate her. And Alex stays with her for a little bit longer than he should, and Will is low-key the voice of reason. I'm just giving this context going into the story that Alex is kind of an idiot here. That's what he said, not me. That's what he said. So you're going to have a lot of moments of cringe where Alex is going to mess up pretty big. So anyways, the beginning of school. This was late August, early September of 2023. As you know, the whole Skibidi Toilet craze started in June, July, or something like that. It was getting pretty big. But anyways, it was the beginning of their sophomore year in high school. And there was a new girl, and I don't know, look, it's just a reality. Whenever like anyone new comes in, it's interesting. It's like, oh, someone new. There's this whole thing of like, oh, well, the new girl's going to get all this attention. Whether that's fair or not is not up for me to decide. But either way, the new girl usually does get attention. Like whether you like that or not, at the end of the day, they get more attention, and we're going to call this girl Ava. And for a very long time, Ava seems super cool. They seem to have like a great experience together. And it had at no point, well, not at no point, but in the very beginning, no one would ever guess, right? Not in a million years of consistently guessing random things would they ever guess that Ava secretly wants Skibidi Toilet to put a baby in her. Oh my God. Oh my God. The cringe was almost too much for me, bro. I almost seized and died right there. 1 like equals 1 prayer. So anyways, the day before school starts. So anyways, I don't know if this happened in your high school, but like for me, whenever there was new people, like they'd kind of like either be introduced early on. The parents would like be like, oh, you should go meet so-and-so. I know definitely when I was younger, all the parents in my grade, or at least a lot of them, would come together. And like when there was a new kid coming in, I think the moms would find each other on Facebook. We'd have a little intro. But definitely later on, especially in high school, I know for me, just being straight up, whenever there was like a bunch of new people coming in, somehow you'd find out either there was some way to know, and like people would know beforehand like who was coming in, and you'd go and like request to follow them on Instagram and chat a little bit. Because look, I'll just be straight up. The idea is like there's a new girl, super pretty, right? If you're there first, if you're the first good experience, you know what I mean? Like you come in, you're like, oh, let me show you all around. Let me make sure you're having a good time. I know it sounds a little corny, but the idea is like, oh, well, maybe she'll like you. I don't know. Look, I was corny and cringe or whatever in high school. But anyways, so Alex and Will are sitting there. It's the day before school, and they're going through like the accounts of the people coming. And Ava, who I told you about, and remember, you guys might be thinking, red flag, stay away. This girl's bad news. Dude, how would they know that she, like, how, let me just say, there's no red flags. Okay, maybe a couple, but there's no, like, red flags that would ever indicate that she has a Skibidi toilet fantasy, which is insane, which is literally insane. I think you deserve to go to a I think you need psychiatric help if you're in this situation. You know what I mean? But anyways, right, so sure enough, they're on Instagram, and they're sitting together, and Alex is like, oh my God. And Will's like, what? And so Alex like pulls up, the Instagram of Ava, the new girl. He's like, oh my God, this is the new girl, bro. And Will's like, oh, like you should definitely like go for that. And Alex is like, bro, like I low-key need to right now. Can you help me out? And Will's like, yeah, 100%. Because at this point, Will's all for her. Like, sure, why not? There's no reason for him to think that she's actually insane. There's no reason for that yet. Anyways, though, so sure enough, Alex follows her on Instagram. She follows him back. And, Alex turns to Will. Is like, dude, do I slide? Do I slide in? And look, bro, I've always had a personally me, I think there's nothing wrong with a polite sliding in. If they air you, if they don't respond to you, well, then you know that, maybe that's not maybe you're not their cup of tea or something else is going on, right? But you can have a little bit of a chat back and forth. Look, you miss 100% of the shots you don't make. I think that saying feels a little off to me, but all I'm saying is take the shots because why not, man? So sure enough, Alex decided to, we'll take a little shot, into the ether, see what happened, and bang, she responded, bro. And so Alex, 20 minutes later, his phone buzzes. He's like, oh my God. Will's like, what? And Alex is like, dude, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And Will's like, bro, what? He's like, she responded. And Will's like, oh, yeah, hell yeah, bro, let's go. What did she say? And so anyways, Alex and this girl, Ava, have a back and forth because I think Alex is like, hey, I heard you're in Connor Pugs High. It's definitely the name. Hey, I go there, are you, that's super cool, did you just move in? They have a whole, one of those basic conversations, blah, 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 where are you from? What are you excited about? And Alex is, going over being and at lunchtime, you don't want to sit at that table, or you want to make sure you go there, and during our free period, the best spot to go, kind of giving all the insider tips, trying to be that guy. Which, I guess courtesy to him. Anyways, though, so they have a really good back and forth. And the next day, they walk to school because they walk pretty close. And Alex and Will every single day have walked to school together. So Alex is like, bro, oh my God, what do I do if I see her? Do I go up to her? Do I wait for her to go up to me? And Will's like, dude, relax. You're kind of tweaking on this when you shouldn't be tweaking. When you see her, you should go up to her. Be like, hey, we chatted over DMs. Are you having a good time? How's your experience been so far? It's as easy as that, bro. Because Alex, okay, the dynamic between Alex and Will was more experienced. He now has a girlfriend, but he was the type of guy who knew what to say. Very confident, was just very good when it was to talking to girls. He did a good job. Alex, on the other hand, was abysmal. He was genuinely so terrible. And this is Alex's own words, so maybe he was better than he's letting us on to know, or maybe he was somehow worse. Who knows? But what I'm trying to say is Alex would always kind of lean on Will for the expertise and the advice here, and it's been a second since Alex got any play, if you know what I mean. So this is a very big deal, and he doesn't want to mess it up, which this anxiety over not wanting to mess it up on the low is going to be what's going to make a mess up. That's the thing, bro. If you go in with kind of like, and this applies to everyone, right? If it goes into a situation where you're kind of like worried and anxious, and I'm especially chatting with the guys right now, bro. If you go into a situation where you're anxious and you're worried about like, oh, I want to talk to them, but this is my only opportunity, I can't let this slide, I'm going to give you a little short story, and trust me. So about almost a year and a half ago, I was getting no play. I was seeing no one, and kind of randomly, I met this girl, and we decided to go on some dates. It was great. I actually think, she was, into me for a little bit. I mean, she asked for the date, so I think so, right? And I completely blew it. And the reason I blew it is because I just like, the way I acted was very much in the scarcity mindset. Because I was like, oh, I'm never going to see anyone else again. This is my only opportunity. And you could just, I didn't say that, obviously. I obviously didn't say that verbatim, but you could feel it. You could feel it in the way I was texting back. You could feel it in the way that I was chatting. You could feel it in the way that I was immediately rescheduling as soon as she had an issue. So that's just something that, Alex was going through as well. So you get to the school, and they walk in, and immediately, this girl, Ava, is standing there all by herself, and Alex is like, You know that feeling when you tell the boys, like, oh yeah, as soon as I see this girl, I'm going to go talk to her. You turn around, she's right there, and you're like, well, actually, I'm going to wait a second. Now is not the right time, when you're literally just stalling. So Will's like, bro, you got to do it. Don't think about it. Just walk in. And Alex is like, okay. So Alex, like, this is not normal for Alex. He usually is like, well, blah, 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 give some, like, BS excuse or something. But, this time he actually was like, okay, I'm doing it. Walks up to her. Ava turns, looks at him, starts singing the Skibidi toilet theme song. I'm kidding. Not yet. Wait a second. It will get horrendous. But for now, it's not bad. Ava turns, looks at him, makes eye contact with Alex, recognizes him from Instagram, has a little bit of a smile. Alex goes in there, and in his own, he says this, so like take this with a grain of salt, I guess, but he says he actually goes in there, kills it, has a great conversation. Will is very proud of his student, right? And now the apprentice becomes the master, or whatever that, saying is. Anyways, so sure enough, over the next 2 weeks, Alex and Ava, they're chatting all the time. They're getting lunch together. They're texting when they go back. Alex is yapping all the time to Will. Will's starting to get kind of annoyed by the amount of their conversation, or the percentage of their conversation went from like 5% about Alex's failed love endeavors to like 100%. So eventually, after kind of like chatting, Will at some point is like, bro, are you going to do anything about it though? And Alex was this was on one of their walks back from school about 2 weeks later. Alex is a little bit taken aback. He's kind of like, yo, relax. Like, what are you saying? And Will's like, well, you keep talking about how you're chatting with her and how you're doing this and how you're doing that. But dude, are you going to like make a move? Are you going to go on a date? Are you going to ask her for dinner? Are you going to like do something? Or are you going to kind of be in this limbo period? Alex, I know you. You're too worried to take a step. Low-key, was Will pushing this a little sooner than maybe he should have? Because 2 weeks of chatting, actually, I'd probably ask for a date around now, but I'm also more on the let me figure it out, let me get it done, let me move on type side. At least I am now. So was low-key Will kind of asking just so he could move on and they could have a different conversation? Perhaps. But also, Alex was like, well, is it too soon? And Will's like, dude, Alex, come on. You guys have had great conversations. If you're really on FaceTime for 2 hours every single night, clearly she doesn't just see you as one of her buddies. And if she does, well, let's move on sooner rather than later. Look, you spent enough time with her, because the 2 weeks almost is like a misrepresentation, because this 2 weeks was it was 2 weeks, but they got lunch together. They saw each other and stopped and chatted in school. They would be on FaceTime for like 3 hours every single night. So it was almost like a month of normal person time crammed into 2 weeks. So eventually, Alex is like, okay, I think you're right, bro. Next day they're walking in and Alex is like, I don't know what to do. Like, man, I'm so worried about this. And Will's like, bro, relax. Like, we already chatted about it. You go up to her and say, hey, like, I've really enjoyed my time together. I'm wondering if you want to get dinner with me this Friday. It was like a Tuesday or something. This Friday night at insert like a place that was pretty close by, that was kind of like a fancier place, but not like some Michelin star, super 5-star restaurant or something like that. It was a nice place, don't get me wrong. Like, it was cool and it was very datey, but yeah, anyway. So they go into school. Alex sees her, is like, oh, dude, I think I should wait a little longer. And Will's like, bro, you don't need to wait any longer. You're only saying that because you don't want to do it. You're nervous. You don't want to get a no. What you want is a response. Whether it's a yes or a no is irrelevant. What we want is a response. And Alex went in and did it. He went up to her, asked for the date, and she very happily said yes, which was not like a shocker to Will or anything. He's like, they've been yapping on FaceTime for like 3 hours a night, and it's the only person he can talk about to me. Of course they're going to go on a date. Like, it's not that crazy. Anyways, so let's skip ahead to the night of the date. They had a great week, whatever, yapping on FaceTime, chatting at lunch. Unfortunately for Will, Alex was giving him endless updates about how it was going, and yeah, it was like, Will's like, okay, man, you got the date. Like, yay. I don't need to hear anything else about it. You want to talk about Fortnite again or whatever, right? So anyways, the day of the date. It's Friday night. Or Friday afternoon. They're walking back from school. They're actually going to just walk to the place because it's walking distance. But so because I don't think he has a car yet, so he can't like pick her up or anything, and he doesn't want his mom to be like, "Okay, sweetie, I'll pick you up. Oh, are you my little baby boy's girlfriend?" Like, he doesn't want to risk any of that. So, anyways, they're walking back, Alex and Will, and they're going over like, "Oh, dude, like, I'm so nervous about this," and he's basically just like, "Why are you nervous, bro? It's not that deep. You're good. Don't sweat it. You're chilling. You're fine. Don't worry about it, man. If it doesn't go well, it doesn't go well." And then we move on. But it seems like you guys have spent so much time together. It's not as if you don't know how it's going to go. You know how it's going to go. Which is a lie. Because he did not know how it was going to go. Because if he did, he wouldn't go on it. Foreshadowing. Anyways, so he eventually gets there. He gets there like 10 minutes early. And he sees Ava already waiting there. He's like, oh my God. He goes up to her, and Alex is like, wait, did I get the time wrong? Like, I'm sorry if I'm late. I thought I was 10 minutes early. She's like, no, haha, I just like to get here early too. So Alex immediately thought, because he saw her waiting there, that, she was also, that he was late, like that he was like an hour late or something insane. But she also just wanted to get there early because they were probably both nervous, which actually kind of cut the nerves for both of them, because it showed that both of them were trying like a little too hard. So they're like, oh, okay, we're both nervous. We're both trying hard. Okay, we can probably that for some reason cut the nerves of both of them. So they sit down, they get seated, they go on the menu, they order whatever, and it's very chill. It's very relaxed. And up until now, the story has been, I would say, a very standard teenage love story. You know what I mean? Like, it's been very calm and casual and whatever. It's been like, maybe something that you or, myself have experienced and up to this point. Well, let me just let you know that this title, like the intro and the title of this video, was not clickbait. It wasn't also the wrong video title and thumbnail for the wrong video. The title is absolutely correct. Things are about to go so downhill so quickly that you probably can't even comprehend how bad this is about to be. So anyways, they're sitting there at the table, and she's like Alex, like, do you know, did you watch the little videos on YouTube about Skibidi toilet or something? And Alex is like, yeah. Because he thought like she was trolling, like, because at that point, like, Skibidi toilet, it's, right now, like, Skibidi toilet is synonymous with brain rot. But back in like September, it was kind of known as cringe, and like, why are little iPad babies in love with it? And if you like it, there's no problem, right? As long as you don't want Skibidi toilet to put a baby in you, then you're fine. What a sentence, my friend. What a sentence I just said. Anyway, anyways, so yeah, sure enough, right? She's like, well, Alex, I want to be very honest with you. And Alex is like, what the hell is going on? She's like, well, I don't know how to put this, And whenever someone says that, you already know you're in for a treat. She's like, Alex, I don't know how to say this. Alex's hands get all clammy, starts beads of sweat, whatever. She's like, I don't know how to say this, but like, it's so weird. I think you judge me. Alex is like, no, I wouldn't judge you. Which is like, you shouldn't say that if you don't know what she's about to say. She's like, you know, I fantasize about the Skibidi toilet. And Alex is like, what? What? Yeah, so Alex is like, his brain, you know that kind of like SpongeBob meme where it's like all the little SpongeBobs in his head are running around and there's fire? Because he's like trying to remember someone's name, I think, or his name. He's trying to remember his name and they can't find it. So it's like they're all running around, fire, explosion. That's the inside of Alex's head right now. And he's kind of like coughs. It's really bad timing because bro was nervous drinking a glass of water. You know when it's like you're so nervous you need to do something, like you'll either go on your phone, you'll take a sip of water. He was nervous sipping a glass of water. So when he hears that, he like exhales a little bit of like a whack. And that makes it, he starts choking on the water. And she's like, oh, are you okay? He's like, oh, yeah, no, I'm good. And she's like, I know it's weird, but you said you wouldn't like judge me, and he's like, no, no, I'm not judging you. I just don't know if I know what that means. She's like, Alex, you know I like you very much. And Alex is like, in his head, he's like, hell yeah. But then he's like, oh wait, no, is this good? Is this bad? I don't even know anymore. And in his head, he's like, how am I gonna tell Will any of this, bro? No. Because the thing is, like, this isn't like a secret date he went on. Will's going to ask for every detail. And Alex isn't going to lie to him because at some point or another, this will come out. For some reason, it will, right? So he's just like, no, that's okay. And she's like, you know, but if we're going to be together, you know, I want to be together with you, but I need you to work with me. And he's like, in his head, he's like, dude, she was so normal. She was so normal for so long. Like, bro, let's actually pause and think about this for a second. Dude, if I was going on a date with some girl and she was like, I fantasize about Skibidi toilet, like, I need you to, like, put yourself in a toilet to kiss me, bro. I think I would say, well, madam, it's been a wonderful date, but I have to catch a meeting at 6:48 at night on a Friday. Yes, no, I have a business meeting. I have a test I have to study for tomorrow on Saturday. It's a good day, madam. Like, dude, what do you even do at that point? Like, legitimately, what do you even do at that point? So he's like, what do you mean by that? And she's like, well, I don't know how to say this, but, you know, I want to see you after this. And Alex is like, okay. He's like, because he can't tell, because like in any other situation, if he was a girl that he was like in love with and she's like, I love you, baby, come back with me, he'd be like, okay, now we're talking. Like, hell yeah, okay, I can get behind this. But a little bit of a problem is all of the Skibidi toilet stuff that's being mentioned throughout is kind of burning a hole in his brain. So he's like, okay. And she's like, and when I come back, I want you to be sitting in my toilet. And I want you to, Sarah, this is getting hard for me to say. Why do you guys have such weird stories you submit to me? Why are you guys all so weird? Not you guys, but why are your friends and the people you know such weirdos? She's like, I want you to serenade me with the Skibidi toilet theme song. What? So Alex is just like, okay. You know, I mean, dude, what do you actually say to that? Like, genuinely, what do you even say to that? I think I'm at a loss for words myself. And I'm just recounting a story that was told to me, to you. Bro, imagine sitting there in this situation, like, oh my God, I don't even know where I'd begin with this. I genuinely don't even know where I'd start. Well, actually, I think I would do what I said I would do and be like, oh, madam, good day, I must leave. A pressing emergency. The Prince of Prussia has demanded my presence immediately, so I must get on the next flight out of here, which is right now. Goodbye. You know, and Alex wasn't quick on his feet. He didn't think to say that, so I don't know what else to say. But Alex is like, okay. And she's like, good, I'm glad you know that now. And then Ava literally pivots to a normal conversation. She literally pretends like that didn't happen. And she starts speaking about whatever. And Alex is in his own world right now. He's like kind of in the conversation, but like you could tell that he was low-key out of it because like, bro, I don't know what I'd do either, bro. I'll be straight. I don't know what I'd do either. Anyways, so they continue to have a conversation. They get their meal. Alex is like, let me just enjoy the food. It's good. He eventually pays the tab. They walk out of there. And yeah, so they're like, all right, I'll see you Monday. And she's like, I don't know if I'm doing anything tomorrow, Alex. And he's like, okay. And she's like, oh, well, I'll let you know. And she leaves. Alex is like in shambles right now, bro. He's never been more distraught in his life. The girl of his dreams apparently has insane Skibidi toilet fantasies and wants him to be a part of it. So he calls his friend. He calls up Will. And Will's like, yo, what's up, dude? How'd the date go? Alex is like, dude, I don't know. I just need to talk to you right now. And Will's like, oh, shit, okay. Yeah, okay, I'll be there. Like, where do you want to meet? Alex is like, because they were actually, the restaurant was closer to Will's house than Alex. He's like, can I just walk to your house? Like, I'm 5 minutes away. He's like, yeah, come over. I think Will was expecting that, like, she revealed that she has a boyfriend, or she was like, hey, I love this friend date, or something stupid like that. Will thought like, oh, it blew up in his face. Like, he maybe said something stupid. I don't know. Will was expecting to console him. Will was not prepared for what was about to come. So Alex comes over, and Will's like, hey, what's up, man? Opens up the door. He's like, yeah, come on. So they pass by, and Will's mom's like, hey, Alex, how's it going? And Will's like, Mom, like, I need to talk to him. It's a situation. She's like, okay, boys, I'm sorry. So they walk up the stairs. They go into Will's room. Will closes the door, and Alex sits down on his bed. Will sits down on his, like, chair, whatever, his little spinny chair. Is like, all right, debrief time, dude, what happened? So that last 10 minutes of story that I just told you, Alex basically tells to that level of detail. So by the end of that period, Will's face is just of like white as a ghost. He's like, and eventually Alex like ends the story. They just sit there in silence for 30 to 45 seconds. They're just chilling. No, they're not chilling. They're both mourning the loss of whatever. They're mourning, bro. They're not chilling. They're mourning. They're mourning the loss of what this could have been, and basically just, it's not good. Sitting there in silence for 30, 45 seconds. And Will's like, hey, breaks the silence after a minute. I did not expect that, bro. Well, I think it's needless to say that that's the last time we were chatting with that girl. And Alex, okay, remember how I said in the beginning that, like, Will low-key was in the right, and Alex made a few mistakes, and Alex is very forward about that. He made some mistakes here. So Alex says, well, I do like her. Like, maybe she was just being weird. Like, everything else is so cool. And Will's like, no. You are not going over to see her and putting yourself in a toilet, bro. Unless that's what you want to do. And he's like, Alex is like, no, that's weird. I don't want to do that. I don't want to be a Skibidi toilet or whatever the frick she said, dude. And Will's like, okay, well, she's a psychopath, and you're not seeing her anymore because you're my boy, and I don't want to see you hurt. And Alex is like, well, but and this is something that I've been in. Not like this. Okay, pause. I don't mean that I've been, let me be very careful with my words. I've never been in a situation where a girl tries to seduce me back to her house but says I need to sit in her toilet and say the Skibidi toilet song as I kiss her deeply in her warm mouth. That's never happened to me before. But what I'm saying is the whole rose-tinted glasses, right? The perception of someone, putting them on a pedestal and not being able to see when BS is happening. You know, it's happened to me a lot. So I feel bad here. So, dude, I've been in situations where, you know, it's looking bad, or this girl is bad news, or just things where it's obviously not good. She's so many red flags. And since I'm in a situation where I put them on a pedestal, I do this really bad. Like, this is a bad thing that I'm working on. And honestly, I need to listen to my friends more when they give me objective advice. I'll even know that they're probably right but I still do it anyways. So this is something that I can heavily relate to. But Alex in this situation, he had the rose-tinted goggles of rose-tinted goggles on, bro. He saw her as like, remember, and I can feel bad for him here. He doesn't get any play. No girls talk to him, really. He's had one or two things here or there, but they've blown up in his face, and he's taken a lot of L's. And finally, a girl that he thinks is really cute and he's really liked, up and minus the Skibidi toilet, weird obsession stuff. Minus that, she's great. She's perfect. And now, because of this one little thing, which is not a little thing, we'll talk about that later, he's going to lose it all. So Will's like, bro, look, the fact that this girl dropped that to you, and look, here's the other thing too. Will's like, look, it's not even just the fact that she wants you to sit in her toilet and sing songs to her in the Skibidi toilet, bop, bop, whatever nonsense. It's the fact that she basically told you her deepest, darkest fantasy on the first date and wanted you, like, bro, that is a red flag in itself, let alone what the red flag actually was. They have a conversation about it. And Alex at the end of it's like, dude, you're right. I'm not going to see her. I'm going to be nice with her. But I'm basically just going to say, like, hey, like, I really enjoyed our date, but I just don't think I want a relationship. So Will's like, I'm sorry, bro. Like, I get it. She seemed really cool. This happens to the best of us. I don't want you to sweat it. I don't want you to think anything. Like, bro, I'm chilling. So, yeah. He's like, fine. I get it, bro. You're totally right. We'll be done. So Will's like, you know what, man? I'm sorry about that. You know what? The right girl for you is right around the corner. I know it seems like it's been so long since the last one. I'm telling you, girls saw you chatting with this girl. They're going to be more interested in you. Which, like, I'm not going to lie, bro. Like, not even bro sign stuff, but it is true. If people, right, see you, and this is guys or girls, if they see you chat, if they see other people are interested in you, then all of a sudden it's social proof. It's kind of reinforcement. It's almost like if you see someone posting YouTube videos with 1 million subscribers versus 1 subscriber, psychologically, you're more likely to be inclined to subscribe to the person with 1 million over 1, because if other people like him, well, then he must be good. The same idea is like, if all these girls like you, then all of a sudden it's like, well, if all these girls like him, then he probably is good. Not always true, not always the case. But, Will was spitting some fire here. He was spitting some heat. He definitely wasn't wrong. The thing is, though, right, Alex is walking back to his house, and he gets a text from Ava. And Ava's like, hey, my parents are gone tonight. I think you should come now. And Alex just came out of a 30-minute long discussion with Will, thoroughly breaking down the pros and cons and analyzing the situation very logically. And they both collectively came to the conclusion that he should not see this girl. But let me just tell you, fellas, if you have not been in a situation like this, you might be thinking, oh, well, he's being ridiculous here. No, you got to understand. You can have all of logic point precisely to one thing, but your emotions will point to another and you'll go to the other, right? Even if it defies anything that makes sense. That's why you always got to be very careful making decisions by yourself if you're being emotional. I've made that flaw many times. I've made that mistake quite often, actually. It's been my downfall a few times. So, of course, Alex is like, what's your address? Oh, no, Alex, what are you doing, boy, my boy? What are you doing? Anyway, so Alex walks over, goes to the house, and in his head, he's like, oh, my God, I'm making such a mistake. Goes over there. She's like, hey, what's up? Opens up the door. Sure enough, the parents are gone. They walk in there. She's like, so do you wanna like come up to my room? We can like watch a movie or whatever. Alex is like, sure. Because look, here's the thing, bro. If they're gonna quote unquote hang out, ignoring the Skibidi toilet nonsense, Alex is low-key okay with that. I'm not blaming him here. If this was a situation, look, if I was in his shoes and this girl didn't say anything about the Skibidi toilet thing, and I was into her and it was all this kind of stuff, yeah, I would 100% be over there, no question. But Alex is like, there's more context here. So anyways, so Alex sits down and, they go over and it's, her room and there's like a TV in her room. So she's like, you know what? Oh, if you want to sit right there, like, I'll be back. And so Alex sits on her bed and like there's TV's on. He kind of puts it on to Cartoon Network or something. I think regular show, good show, by the way. He's playing, he's chilling, he's on his phone a little bit. It's not that deep. It's kind of whatever. And that's when 10 minutes later, he's kind of like, where's this girl? She's like, Alex, can you come in here, please? He's like, okay, gets up, walks over to the bathroom. Brace yourself, by the way. Brace yourself. So he goes up to the bathroom door. It's closed, but it's like, it's weirdly lit in there. Like, it's not like, he could see some light coming from underneath the door, but it's not like the light's on. Like, it was some candlelight type stuff. He's like, what? He's like, are you in here? She's like, yes, open the door. It's like, okay. All right. Okay. Like, I'm going to give a little bit of a content warning. It's already been, this whole episode's been a little sus, but the following is like mad sus. So if you're like on the younger side, maybe just skip through, skip a minute forward. Just know that like some weird stuff happens. So I'm going to say. If you're like fine content-wise, I'm not gonna be like crazy graphic, but just a heads up, it's weird as hell. Just to be straight. Opens up the door. She is standing there. No clothes. Completely butt naked. And she's standing right next to the toilet. She's like, Alex, I would love for you to be right here. She points inside the toilet bowl. Oh. Sorry, this is painful for me. It's hard for you, my friend, to hear this. It's even harder for me to hear this, okay? It's hard for you, it's harder for me. So Alex is just like, he's frozen, right? Because it's like, on one side, it's like, I'm seeing the girl I'm in love with. Okay, right? Completely naked. Could be a worse situation, my friends. But she's pointing towards the toilet bowl. And she's like, Alex, time for you to be my little Skibidi. Get in here. And Alex is like, my what? And she's like, Alex, I want you to be my little Skibidi toilet. I want you to put a baby in me, Skibidi. And Alex is like, okay, turns around, literally nopes the hell out of there, runs down the stairs, and it's just like, runs out of her house, immediately like runs down the block, pulls out his phone, calls up Will. Will's like, yep. Alex is like, dude, I made a mistake. Will's like, did you go to her house? Alex is like, yes, I was about to. Will's like, was she weird as hell? Alex is like, maybe. Will's like, bro, you gotta listen to me, my boy. How's it going, everyone? Today we got a story time, oh my god, of a kid who somehow destroys/floods the zoo over Skibidi toilet. Bro, I don't understand. This next generation is absolutely ruined. But sit back, relax, subscribe to the channel right now if you like Storytime videos. Press the like button to claim your free nothing. Limited time deal, by the way. And with that being said, let's just jump into one of the cringiest story times of all time. Let's go. So we're going to call the subscriber who submitted this story Will. So anyways, in Will's class, there's a kid who we're going to call Ben. Of course, we call the secondary character Ben. You know how it is around on this channel. But anyways, Ben was infected with the very, very destructive and dangerous virus known as Skibidi toilet syndrome. Once you get it, man, you're a goner. So anyways, what do I mean by that? I mean Ben, over the summer, he was kind of chilling, wasn't doing that much, and he was on YouTube one day, and he saw, probably in his recommended, one of these Skibidi toilet videos. And I don't know if you guys have seen Skibidi toilet syndrome, but basically, kids will basically spend 25 hours a day. 25 hours a day. You heard me right? No, I don't mean 24. I mean 25. They literally pause time just to get an extra hour per day to watch Skibidi toilet videos. The only music on their Spotify playlist is the Skibidi Toilet song. The only entertainment that they will ever consume are Skibidi Toilet related videos. And they do that every day on repeat. And you want to have a conversation with them? Well, if it's not about Skibidi Toilet lore, then get out, because they don't want to talk to you, buddy. I don't know how else to say it. Anyways, Ben was unfortunately infected with this very dangerous and basically terminal virus. And by terminal, I mean terminally cringe. Because everyone else around, it's actually terminal for everyone else around you, because they will die of cringe. So make sure you have your cringe make sure you have your cringe goggles on by pressing the like button. I give you not only a free nothing, but also a free pair of cringe goggles. So make sure you have that on before I delve too deep into the story and you pass away or something. I'm just impervious to cringe at this point. I have developed superhuman strength. Anyways, so this kid, Ben, he used to be a normal kid. Well, I mean, kind of. Will is like, he was a little weird, but wasn't this bad. But unfortunately, over the summer, he did nothing all day but just sit there and watch Skibidi Toilet videos. Yes, you heard me right. And he's contracted the virus. First day of school, they get back. Will's all happy. Life is good. And then, one of his last classes of the day he has with Ben. And, he kind of remembers Ben from back in the day. He kind of remembers, Ben was just kind of that kid. He was a little quiet. Never really a problem man. Never did anything bad. Will has only had good experiences with him. Gets to class. Walks in, kind of struts in with some of his boys. They walk in, and they see Ben sitting there. And they just hear him, staring into space. His eyes kind of floating in different directions. Like he has nothing going on in his head. Just singing, skippy bop bop bop, yes, skippy bop bop beep. That's that song that, if you like it, that's fine, right? I'm not coming for you. I've just heard it so much that it makes me angry. So I'm not gonna replicate it too often. Just know that's the song I'm talking about. And Will is just thinking, okay, is this guy trolling? Is this a bit? Because, at this point, they came back early September, as, a lot of kids do. At this point, Skibidi Toilet was super, super big and popular and all the rage and got 1 billion subscribers or whatever. And it was kind of becoming a little bit of a meme at this point. So he's like, oh, maybe he's just doing a joke. No, my friend. It was not a joke. It's serious. It's not a joke, guys. Skibidi Toilet syndrome is deadly serious. Okay? Listen to me. It is a serious deal. So I don't want to hear any jokes about it, because it is terminal for everyone else. The worst kind of disease. Not terminal for the person who gets it, terminal for everyone else around them. Turns them into a monster. A cringe-bearing monster. It's terrible. Anyway, so yeah, in all seriousness, Will's just walks the back of the class, kind of looks at his friends. He's like, dude, what is going on with Ben, man? What is Buddy smoking? Why is he doing that? Because after 2 minutes of him just looping the Skibidi Toilet song and staring to space, they kind of think that he, got hit in the head really hard, because that would actually completely explain his actions. Okay, so I've given you a good description of Ben. I gave you a little story, a little context. Fast forward 3 months. 3 months. Ben has gained a reputation of being an absolute menace, because all he does all day is just scream Skibidi Toilet garbage all day. It's what he does in all classes. He's been sent to the principal's office 100 times for disrupting class. He has lost any friend that he had, because I don't know about you, but in my opinion and in my definition of a substantive friendship, does not include sitting there while I hear this kid scream Skibidi Toilet songs all day. That's not a friendship I'm looking to enter. I know that might be shocking to a few of you, but it's true, man. It's not something I'm looking to enter right now. I'm sorry. Anyways, he's gained a bit of a reputation. 3 months later, they have a field trip. Class field trip, whatever. They go to the zoo. I don't know if you guys ever had some class field trips. I never had one to the zoo, but I had a few to museums and exhibits. Always super fun. Mess around with the boys, get yelled at, look at some cool stuff. Don't actually have to do anything that day. Love them. Anyway, so Will and his boys are on the bus. Everyone's lined up. Ben is sitting, with his assigned seat partner, and his assigned seat partner is plugging their ears as Ben is just destroying his eardrums, completely removing all of his brain cells too. It should be a federal crime, because with every Skibidi coming out of his mouth, a brain cell of someone around you has died. So at a certain point, you kill off all the brain cells, they become a vegetable. So that's essentially killing them, right? So there should be a legal investigation into this, in my opinion. But anyways, they're sitting there. They're getting to the zoo. They're driving over. Will's pretty happy. It's always fun. It's always a cool day, as I said earlier. Everyone loves a good field trip, man. So sure enough, they get to the zoo, and everyone gets off the bus. Single file line. You have your buddy. You have your partner. And the partners you couldn't select by yourself, which I understand. If you're having trouble making friends, a lot of these things teachers are doing it's to promote new friendships, and it's also make sure that people who don't have the greatest social skills don't get, left out or feel even worse about it. So sure enough, they had random friend groups. And what are the odds? Will's standing there. He's hoping for one of his boys. Like he's hoping, it'd be Alex, or he's hoping it'd be, not Ben, sorry. Hoping it would be Charlie or someone. He's sitting there, and the teacher's like, Will, your partner is Ben. And Will's like, no, God, no, God. You know that clip? I don't know if you guys are Office fans. I love The Office. Oh, you like The Office? You're so original. I know. Shoot me. Don't, actually. But, when Dwight, I don't want little spoiler, but when Toby comes back, Michael finds it out, and he freaks out. Just imagine that reaction. Anyway, so Will eventually walks over to Ben, and Will's like, hey, man, how's it going? Because one of the rules of the buddy system is you must be with your buddy at all times. So this just went from a 6, 7, maybe 8 hour, I think probably closer to 6 hour, fun, awesome trip that he's going to enjoy so much to a Skibidi toilet-induced torture session. So Will's mood just took a complete 180, completely swapped in the other direction. He's definitely not too happy about it. So he goes over. It's like, hey, Ben. And Ben's like, Skibidi bop. And Will's like, oh, dear God. I can't even communicate like that. He's like, hey, man, how's it going? Bop, bop, yes. And he's like, God. Because Will knew that this kid was a bot at this point. He knew that this kid was an actual non-playable character. But he didn't realize that he was to this degree gone. At this point, lock him up in a mental facility. Get him some help. It's because this virus has probably taken over each individual brain cell in his skull. Every single neuron has been captured by Skibidi Toilet. Dude, guys, this generation seriously needs some help, man. So anyways, the day commences. And they're walking around. It's the zoo. It's fun. It's cool. Everyone likes it. Actually, no, I take that back. I do not like the zoo. I used to like it when I was a kid because, funny monkey in cage. Now I look around and I just see how depressed the animals are. Every single one there just wants to off themselves, right? They're just sitting there being fat and doing nothing all day. So I don't know. I don't like the zoo, but I see the appeal. I really do. Anyway, so they're walking around, and, Will and Ben or Will is just like, oh my God, like this is actually the worst. Like, Buddy just entered his own hell for the next 6 hours. And sure enough, Ben is sticking to character. He has just been mumbling. Okay, I got to give him points. He's not screaming, but still mumbling. Oh, Skibidi bop bop bop, yes. Just, it's bad. It's really bad. Like, I don't know what else to say. And Will is just like, bro, like, yo, like, I don't know how you feel about this, but do you want to, like, cover more ground and split up? Against the rules, but Will is like, I just can't handle this anymore. I'll tell my teacher that we got split up by accident. And Ben isn't going to correct the record because he's too busy skibbity bopping anyways. And of course, like the one time that Ben would be able to speak in a normal English sentence would be to rat Will out. But beyond that, and Ben kind of looks at him and shrugs and then walks off. So Will is like, thank God. Peace, freedom, free at last. Probably shouldn't have to keep that. Anyways, so Will's walking around looking at the cool monkeys and hippos and dragons and whatever you see at zoos, or I haven't been to one in a second. And sure enough, he runs into some of his other friends. Let's call them Charlie and Alex. And Charlie and Alex are like, dude, like I heard you're partners with that Ben kid. Like, that's so funny. Ha, ha, ha. Where is he, by the way? And, Will's like, oh, I made a deal with him. I said, look, let's cover more ground. Let's split up. And Charlie's like, oh, like you should really make sure you find him before we have to go back because, you know, the buddy teacher system, they're going to get really mad at you. Like, I know, you know, Tommy, that, you know, he did that a couple years back and he actually got, you know, just after school suspension for like a week or something. They're really serious about that. And Will's like, yeah, I know. I'm going to find them. Worst case scenario, I say we get lost, but I just honestly can't stand around that kid when he's doing all the things he's doing. And, you know, they kind of agreed. Like, it makes sense. Like, this kid was being so annoying. It's just, you can only hear the Skibidi Toilet song for 100,000 times so long, right? Only for so long. And yeah, it just kind of goes downhill really, really quickly. So I don't know the exact details here. When I say I don't know, I mean Will doesn't know the exact details because he split up with the Skibidi Toilet Kid. So this is going to be a mix of other people's perspectives. It's going to be a mix of logical conclusions, and it's going to be a mix of likely context. So what likely happened? The Skibidi Toilet Kid, obsessed with Skibidi Toilet, just devoured by these toilets or whatever. I don't know. Goes to the bathroom. In the bathroom, there are toilets. And he must have just been, I don't know why he didn't do this at school previously. Maybe he just doesn't go to the bathroom at school, which honestly, I can understand. Boys' bathrooms, public boys' bathrooms at middle schools and high schools are dangerous places. It's just bad news. So I would understand if he didn't go to school or bathroom in school. But he sees the toilet and somehow gets like lodged in there and then starts like repeatedly flushing. And somehow it like gets into the pipe system and like starts overflowing the pipe system. And somehow he breaks it so bad that like the toilet starts rising up. And then all the toilets in the row start rising up because all the pipes are connected. And then the sinks start flooding. And then there's just a big pool of water spraying out of the bathroom and starts running through the inside part of the museum because the zoo also had like a museum section. And that's when Will and his friends were walking around expecting to have, I don't know, at least a few more hours to kind of hang out and whatever. They hear like on the loudspeaker, like, we need all like zoo attendants to get to an exit immediately. You know, there's been an emergency, like you got to go now. Very clearly not a drill. So they were like, oh, what? Anyways, so Will and his friends, Will not for a second believes, oh, of course, well, this must be because of the Skibidi Toilet Kid. Also, real quick, if you made it this far into the video, comment toilet down below. That'll be the secret word of the day. And if you made it this far into the video and you want a heart, because I'm going to be trying to drop as many hearts as I possibly can, comment the secret word toilet 3 times in 3 separate comments. More likely, I'll see it when I'm scrolling through my comments. And also, just so you know, every couple of days, I sort through my comments and I filter them by super thanks, which you go into the little heart, there's a $sign. If you leave a comment as a super thanks, I will 100% reply to it, and I'll heart it, I'll reply to it, I'll give you a good long reply or whatever. I might reply to some other comments, but you'll get a really good reply if you do it that way. And just for a second, I want to direct you to the description where there's a bunch of links. Cameo page if you want something like that. If you want to learn how to make money with a YouTube channel, I also have a little instructional video of how to do that. I have some Amazon links for products you might need if you want to, you know, make videos or whatever. Use the links. I get like $5 or something. Helps out a little bit. And also, of course, if you want to submit these stories, Instagram is Connor Pugs. Follow me on there and then message me your story. Now let's get back to the Skibidi Toilet Kid who has obliterated the zoo or something. So Will, his immediate reaction is not, oh, of course, Ben, the Skibidi Toilet Kid, must have gone into the bathroom and clogged up all the sinks and toilets from being an idiot or something. It's not his immediate reaction. His immediate reaction is, I don't know what's going on, but I need to find Ben immediately as he's like my escape buddy. Like, not escape buddy. He is my buddy, and I'm going to get in massive trouble. Even more trouble because now the buddy system is being employed. So anyways, Will is frantically like running around trying to find Ben. And he eventually runs by the bathroom and he's seeing like floods. He's seeing like water pile up in places, and he starts to walk towards the bathroom and he sees like a bunch of staff members, bunch of like janitors, whatever, people like making sure that no one gets there, like a security guard. And he also sees Ben, and Ben is by the like 2 security guards. And he's like, oh God, what? So anyways, Will's like, okay, screw it. I gotta go. So Will goes over, he finds a teacher. He said, hey, I got separated from Ben, and I just saw him by the bathroom with 2 security guards. So the teacher's like, okay, like, whatever. They're not going to punish him because it's such a weird situation going on right now that they're just more focused on getting everyone together. So the teacher and Will, they go back to the situation. Remember, it's flooding everywhere, and this like security guard's like, hey, like, you guys got to leave. And the teacher's like, one of the students is over there. And they're like, oh, like that guy? And he goes over, points to Ben. And the teacher's like, yeah, that's one of our students. And they said, okay, well, he kind of caused this whole situation, so we got to have a talk. And the teacher's like, what? And the teacher turns to Will and says, look, like, leave, go to the exit. Tell like whatever teacher there that your buddy is here and it's fine that you're not with him. Say that, Miss Alexandra or whatever said that. I'll just go. So Will has to go. Will goes to the exit. Teacher's like, where's your accountability? Blah, 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 blah. And he's like, okay, like not with me, with Miss Alexandra. You can check with that later. And the teacher's like, okay, fine. I believe you. Why wouldn't I? Eventually, they get on the bus. They have to wait there for like 4 hours. Like, it was the most boring thing ever. But they have to wait there. And Ben doesn't get on the bus because, he had to do some stuff since he obliterated the zoo or something. Eventually, they get back to school. And not much more is known because Ben never returned to school. I don't know if he got expelled. I don't know if he got a punishment and then, his parents were like, okay, buddy's got problems. We got to just do something with him. But Ben didn't have any social media. It's not like he got Instagram or LinkedIn or something like that. He just disappeared, just poof. And he didn't really have any friends, so no one really stayed in contact with him. So still to this day, no one has any idea what Buddy's up to. No one. How's it going, everyone? Today we got a story time of a bunch of Skibidi toilet syndrome kids who have caught the Skibidi toilet virus. A bunch of them formed together and almost burned down their entire neighborhood over Skibidi toilet. Yeah, pretty crazy today. I've also lost faith in humanity. So leave a like on the video right now to claim your free nothing. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and like stories. And with that being said, let's just jump right into it. Anyways, so we're going to call the subscriber who submitted this story Liam. So this all happened over fall break. So anyways, Liam and his friends always like playing in this big group of woods. So there's a big foresty kind of woods type area that's in the town. It's been a place that they've been playing for the longest time. They used to go there when they were young as 4, and they'd go there and have like fake lightsaber battles with the sticks, have adventures. I don't know. It was really cool. So they're all kind of growing up, and at this point, Liam is around 8. Most of his friends are from 7 to 8 to 9. So anyways, some of them, a handful, roughly half in fact, got infested with the Skibidi toilet virus. This is when a kid, or anyone really, but most likely kids, sit there and watch Skibidi toilet for 25 hours every single day. Yes, you heard me right. They found a way to stuff an extra hour into the day just to watch more Skibidi toilet. These kids actually do exist. So anyways, this year, or I should say this break, they basically broke up into 2 teams. So they were going into they've always having battles or whatever in the woods. And this time they broke up very, very much along the lines of team Skibidi toilet, which means they just love it so much. They've all contracted the Skibidi toilet virus that they're willing to form an entire team around it. And then the other one was just team blue. They really weren't around it. They honestly were team anti-Skibidi toilet because they just thought it was so annoying or whatever. Because I feel like with 8-year-olds nowadays, you're either so in love with it or you absolutely hate it. I feel like there's almost no in between. I don't totally get it, but also I'm not 8 anymore, so yeah. Anyways, though, so sure enough, they were kind of planning to have a battle between each other. They'd had battles before, but let me just say, as you can probably tell by the intro/title of this video, that, this battle is going to get a little bit too extreme, and they're almost going to risk burning down the entire town because of it. Yes, they're going to risk burning down the entire town over Skibidi toilet. It actually gets to that point, which is pretty crazy. Real quick, anyone who's a channel member and watching this video, I want you to comment down below and just kind of spam a few of the emojis. Just so you guys know, if you see a join button next to the subscribe, you can also become a channel member and have access to channel member only emojis and flex them in the comment section. Anyways, though, let's go into the first battle. The first battle was not the dangerous one and not the scary one. So the first battle, as I said, was not the one that almost destroyed the whole neighborhood, but it was a precursor, and it does show that the team Skibidi Toilet was going to go way too far. So anyways, they all had these foam lightsabers. So they're little lightsabers from Star Wars, but they were made completely out of foam. So if you hit someone with the foam lightsaber, it would like bend over, it would bend in half, it wouldn't hurt at all. So their first battle was going to be these foam lightsabers, and they were going into the woods. So Team Blue was walking in, they all had their foam lightsabers, and then in the distance, they seen Team Skibidi Toilet, which is the other half of the kids. And they were their battle chant, bro. Their battle chant was the Skibidi Toilet song. So you hear in the distance, and you can barely see them through the woods. And you hear in the distance, Skibidi pop pop pop, yes, yes, Skibidi pop pop beep. And all of Team Blue is like, oh, God, not that song again. So they're all marching in, screaming that. And there was something wrong with their lightsabers. So this was the first sign that the Team Skibidi Toilet was about to go way too far. This was the very beginning signs. So their lightsabers were not that floppy. And remember, these were foam lightsabers. These kind of bended over. It was almost like you were waving around something floppy, man. Like, guys, don't go there in the comment section, please. Anyways, though, so either way, they march in a battle. Team Blue goes in. The subscriber is like, charge! So all of Team Blue rushes in. Team Skibidi Toilet rushes against them. And they start swinging their lightsabers against each other. And almost right away, Team Blue realizes something is wrong. They make contact with Team Skibidi Toilet's lightsabers. And like the Team Skibidi Toilet's lightsabers are like hard as a rock. And they basically just like cut through the lightsabers. So they're immediately losing the battle. And that's when one of the Team Skibidi Toilet members hits one of the Team Blue members with a lightsaber. And it really hurts. So anyways, one of the Team Blue members are like, wait. Something's wrong with these lightsabers. They're like, cease fire. So they call a ceasefire. They look around, and one of the Team Blue members takes one of the Skibidi Toilet members' lightsabers, looks at it, and so the lightsaber is almost like, you know those kind of like pool noodles? Yeah, these foam lightsabers were basically recolored like pool noodles. So they look in the pool noodle, and there's a metal rod in the noodle section. The reason why these weren't floppy was because there was a metal rod put in them, which one is a massive like cheating advantage, because if you're having a lightsaber fight and you're fighting someone has a floppy stick, someone has a hard as a rock stick, bro, you're gonna win. Second of all, if you hit someone in the head or something with a metal rod, even if it has like a pool noodle around it, that's still dangerous. Super quick, if you're listening on YouTube or Spotify and you go into the description of the video, or if you're on YouTube and you look at the pinned comment, the second link that says click this link to learn how to grow on YouTube. If you guys are kind of coming to the age where you're trying to make some money, YouTube's a pretty good place to make some money. So I put together all the knowledge I've learned over the years of how to grow a channel and monetize it correctly. And if you're interested in that, click that link. Anyways, though, back to the story. So yeah, immediately Team Blue is like, whoa. They start calling foul. And Team Skibidi Toilet is like, it's not our fault that you guys came into battle unprepared. Like, you know what, we're going to have another battle tomorrow, and you guys better be ready for whatever we throw at you. So Team Blue's like, okay, well then what's the battle? And Team Skibidi Toilet looks at them and says, you guys will see. So, okay, things are getting kind of intense. And Team Skibidi Toilet also says, the battle can happen at any time. Like, it's your job to hold the forest. We can strike at any time, day or night. So basically, one of the teams would hold down the forest in a sense, like it would be their home base, and the other team would like sneak in and try and take it over. Today, Team Skibidi Toilet had the forest, and the next day it's the other way around. So anyways, Team Skibidi Toilet took the metal rods out of the pipes, and they had another kind of like floppy lightsaber fight, whatever, but there was something plaguing the fight that just felt wrong. Like something, like it was just like Team Skibidi Toilet was definitely going to be doing, I don't know, they just were not going to be playing fair, and that was almost a fact. However, Team Blue played it smart. Team Blue had a mole on Team Skibidi Toilet. So anyways, that night, both Team Blue and Team Skibidi Toilet had their own like little meetings or whatever to plan for the next day. So during the meetings, Team Blue kind of brought up, first of all, they're like, hey, like, first of all, the Team Skibidi Toilet is like, they're not playing fair. They came here with metal rods. Like, that could have hurt some of us. they were obviously cheating here. And even when like we won, like they kind of like, it was an unofficial win, but they definitely won because I think the kids were too busy watching Skibidi Toilet to train with like the floppy lightsabers. It's like they obviously won when they weren't cheating, but they came in prepared to like go too far. And they also said, hey, like I'm a little worried. Like they said anything's on the table for tomorrow. Like what do you think that'll mean? So that's when the subscriber says, like, I didn't want to announce this to any of you guys earlier, just in case, like, you know, I needed to do my own digging. So the subscriber, like, did his own research, quote unquote. I don't necessarily know what that means, but the subscriber said that he did his own research to see if there's any moles in the team. And he kind of he deduced that there wasn't. So he said, okay, like, I was hiding this from you guys because I wanted to do my own research and see if any of you guys were potentially spies or double agents. But we have a double agent on Team Skibidi Toilet. He will be giving us information about what their secret weapon will be or what their plan will be for tomorrow so we can prepare in the morning. Unless they attack in the morning, then we're gonna know either way ahead of time. So anyways, they're all waiting. And later that night, the mole comes back and he meets with a subscriber. And everyone else went home, so it's only the subscribers hearing this. They're going to meet tomorrow early in the morning, like 8 a.m. They're all going to get up. They're all going to go to a certain location. But the subscriber looks at the mole and says, okay, what did you hear? And the mole gives them this very terrified look. So basically, the mole says they're going to do a fire attack. And the subscriber's like, okay, bro, like, what do you mean by they're going to do a fire attack? And he said they didn't really go into a ton of detail, but apparently, like, they got a hold of, like, everyone went home and was, like, instructed. And, like, I don't know how I wasn't instructed. Maybe they have suspicions about me or something. But everyone was instructed to go home and grab a lighter and, like, find a lighter from their parents and then come here tomorrow. I don't know exactly what the plan's going to be, but, like, you guys got to be prepared for this to go crazy. So at this point, the subscriber's like, whoa. They're bringing fire into this? Like, okay, man, like, pause. Like, this might actually be going too far. And the mole's like, dude, I don't know. Like, just prepare for anything. So anyways, the subscriber goes to bed, and he just, like, can't fall asleep because he's thinking, are they going to come in with, like, matches? Are they going to come in? Like, what are they going to come in and do? So anyways, the next day comes around. It's 8 a.m. They all meet at the spot. The subscriber's a couple minutes late because he, like, slept through his alarm and very quickly ran out, and everyone's like, dude, like, where you at? Like, wow, you said meet at 8 a.m. and you're not here. Like, what's going on? He's like, boys, we got bad news. The mole informed us that they're going to use fire. And everyone looks at him and is like, fire? Real quick, if you made it this far into the video, comment fire down below. That'll be the secret word of the day. I'm going to try and heart as many comments as I can. I'm tapping away, trying to give some hearts. If you want the best chance of getting a heart on YouTube, comment fire 3 times in 3 separate comments. Higher chance I'll see it. Also, because I get so many comments, thank you guys. I can't reply to all of them. But if you want a guaranteed reply, all you got to do is leave your comment as a super thanks. So there's a little heart icon with a $sign. All you got to do is tap that and then make a custom comment. I check that every single night before I go to bed, and I respond to every single comment like that. So that is a guaranteed way to make sure that you get a reply and a heart. And finally, I want to let you guys know that I am on Cameo. It is one of the links in the description and the first link on the pinned comment on YouTube. So it's in the description for YouTube or Spotify. If you want me to say anything you want within reason, obviously, Cameo is the place to do that. It's my official account. I'll get notified and I'll get it done within a day. So I don't know if you want me to say something, that's a place for it to be. Anyways, let's get to the fire attack because this is about to get absolutely crazy. So anyways, they're waiting there all day. They're just kind of sitting, waiting, and they feel like they're just waiting for like the attack to happen. So they're guarding the forest at like 1. They're guarding the forest at 2. They also all have Nerf guns. They thought, okay, the best thing we can do is probably bring like ranged weapon attacks. So they all have Nerf guns. I used to love Nerf guns as a kid. Super fun. Honestly, like I've joked around with my college buddies, like we should have a massive like Nerf gun battle. And like they might have been joking, but bro, I'm dead serious. Anyways though, so they're kind of walking around, patrolling the perimeter with their Nerf guns, waiting for signs of anything. So every like 30 minutes, they kind of like check in or whatever. Or one of the patrolling guards will come back and kind of like collect all the information. And no one saw anything. There was a few scares, like a few times they saw movement and it was like a bird or a squirrel or just some like random dad walking his dog. But Team Skibidi Toilet was nowhere to be seen. So at this point, they were getting antsy because like they knew that a crazy attack was coming. They didn't exactly know what they meant by fire attack, which, by the way, don't play with fire, boys. If you have to take one thing away from this video, do not play with fire. Anyways, so they're kind of antsy. They're kind of nervous because this is going to be a big deal when it drops. So they're all anxiously waiting around. And that's when it's getting late. Night's coming soon. And so they're kind of like looking at each other like, do we just go back? Is this too late? And that's when they hear it. They hear in the very faint in the distance. They hear like the almost like very far away chanting. So it's not like it's being whispered. It's being shouted, bro. But it's so far away that it's very faint. But they hear, whoa, Skibidi, bop, 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 yes, yes. But they hear it in kind of like a slowed version. It's almost like, whoa, Skibidi, bop, 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 yes. I mean, you can't really take it that seriously because it is the Skibidi Toilet soundtrack at the end of the day. However, I will say that it was always very ominous because it was getting dark out. They were on edge, waiting for the Team Skibidi Toilet to attack with an unknown fire attack. So they were already kind of tweaking out a little bit. And then you hear, in the dark, this very slow version of their battle cry. Yeah, bro, I don't know. If I was an 8-year-old, I would be tweaking a little bit myself. So first, they heard the battle cry. And second, they saw the flames. So yeah, Team Skibidi Toilet was coming in. Everyone held like a stick with fire at the end of it. Yeah, I'm not even kidding you guys. They came in with like torches, bro. They're literally coming in with torches. Like, yeah, it's actually getting that serious. So at that point, the subscriber's like, okay, team, they're right there. Ready, aim, fire. So everyone has their Nerf guns and are kind of shooting their Nerf bullets, right? And Team Skibidi Toilet is not even dodging the Nerf bullets. They're ominously chanting, walking towards them with like the big flames or whatever. And they're walking towards them. And the Nerf bullets are just like bouncing off of them, whatever. It's doing basically nothing. So one of the other Team Blue members turns to the subscriber. The subscriber's low-key the captain in the situation. I've kind of alluded to that, and it's not explicitly said, but it definitely feels like that. He's basically like, Captain. He's like, bro, like, what do we do here? He's like, hold the line, hold the line. So they keep shooting their Nerf bullets, and the Team Skibidi Toilet is just getting closer and closer. But this is where blank hits the fan. One of the Skibidi Toilet members gets one of the Nerf bullets, hits him in the face, hits him in the eye. He's like, ow, drops his thing, drops his like flame stick. And his flame stick hits the ground, and it's like a brush. So it's like a bunch of really dry, dead grass because it's fall. So it's like the grass is dying out. It's getting really cold, which also means the grass is really dry and flammable. Almost immediately as it hits the ground, boof, like a big thing of flames, as if it hit like a gallon of kerosene or something. Like, it's bad. So at this point, everyone's like, stop, 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 and like the whole whatever is done. And Team Blue, like one of the people are like, we got to call someone, It's like an actual fire. And Team Skibidi Toilet's like, so do you guys like give up? One of the members is like, oh, so do you guys like give up the forest? And that's when the subscriber's like, bro, like this is beyond our games right now. This forest could go up in flames. Yeah, so at this point, some of the people are like running back, trying to like get help or something. The Skibidi Toilet members are complaining because they said, oh, you guys are like ducking out. As the fire is growing, by the way. So the fire is starting to spread. In this town, it's a very old town. So like a lot of the houses don't have perfect like, a lot of them are made like from old wooden structures. A lot of them are like surrounded by the woods. And you know, a forest fire, that thing's actually deadly and it spreads super fast. And especially these houses would go down in seconds, bro. Like they'd be out for the count. So anyways, the subscriber and one of his other Team Blue members runs back home and says, we got to call the fire department. So the mom immediately does and says, what's going on? And he's like, we're playing, and some of the other opposing team, they brought fire. And the mom's like, you guys were playing with fire. And the subscriber's like, I wasn't, my team wasn't. They brought fire, it's bad. And she's like, okay, whatever, where is the fire? So anyways, fire department's called. a fire truck goes over to the scene. The Skibidi Toilet members were still complaining with like the Team Blue members. So at this point, parents are getting called. Everyone's rushing to the scene. And like at this point, like parents are walking in, the subscriber comes over, and like still some of the kids are holding fire sticks. So at this point, the parents are like, put that down, put that down. And obviously, putting that down is a bad idea. So anyways, the firemen come over, and they're just like, boys, you shouldn't be playing with fire. And they have like the big hose, they're spraying it down. They're collecting like the fire sticks and extinguishing them. And let's just say that the last couple of days of break, they were all grounded. Unfortunately, the subscriber in Team Blue, they tried to explain to their parents that they were not doing that. They brought Nerf guns, and if you want a proof, you could look at, who was holding the fire sticks, the total number of fire sticks, which was the same number of Team Skibidi Toilet members or whatever, and that they brought their Nerf guns. But none of the parents wanted to hear it, because at the end of the day, they were all playing with fire and nearly burned down the entire neighborhood. And that would have been kind of bad. How's it going, everyone? Today we got a story time of a bunch of Skibidi Toilet Syndrome kids who have caught the Skibidi Toilet virus. A bunch of them formed together and almost burned down their entire neighborhood over Skibidi Toilet. Yeah, pretty crazy today. I've also lost faith in humanity. So leave a like on the video right now to claim your free nothing. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and like stories. And with that being said, let's just jump right into it. Anyways, so we're going to call the subscriber who submitted this story Liam. So this all happened over fall break. So anyways, Liam and his friends always like playing in this big group of woods. So there's a big foresty kind of woods type area that's in the town. It's been a place that they've been playing for the longest time. They used to go there when they were young as 4, and they'd go there and have like fake lightsaber battles with the sticks, have adventures. I don't know. It was really cool. So they're all kind of growing up. And at this point, Liam is around 8. Most of his friends are from 7 to 8 to 9. So anyways, some of them, a handful, roughly half in fact, got infested with the Skibidi Toilet virus. This is when a kid, or anyone really, but most likely kids, sit there and watch Skibidi Toilet for 25 hours every single day. Yes, you heard me right. They found a way to stuff an extra hour into the day just to watch more Skibidi Toilet. These kids actually do exist. So anyways, this year, or I should say this break, they basically broke up into 2 teams. So they were going into they've always having battles or whatever in the woods. And this time they broke up very much along the lines of team Skibidi Toilet, which means they just love it so much. They've all contracted the Skibidi Toilet virus that they're willing to form an entire team around it. And then the other one was just Team Blue. They really weren't around it. They honestly were team anti-Skibidi Toilet because they just thought it was so annoying or whatever. Because I feel like with 8-year-olds nowadays, you're either so in love with it or you absolutely hate it. I feel like there's almost no in between. I don't totally get it, but also I'm not 8 anymore, so yeah. Anyways, though, so sure enough, they were kind of planning to have a battle between each other. They'd had battles before, but let me just say, as you can probably tell by the intro/title of this video, that, this battle is going to get a little bit too extreme, and they're almost going to risk burning down the entire town because of it. Yes, they're going to risk burning down the entire town over Skibidi Toilet. It actually gets to that point, which is pretty crazy. Real quick, anyone who's a channel member and watching this video, I want you to comment down below and just kind of spam a few of the emojis. Just so you guys know, if you see a join button next to the subscribe, you can also become a channel member and have access to channel member only emojis and flex them in the comment section. Anyways, though, let's go into the first battle. The first battle was not the dangerous one and not the scary one. So the first battle, as I said, was not the one that almost destroyed the whole neighborhood, but it was a precursor, and it does show that the team Skibidi Toilet was going to go way too far. So anyways, they all had these foam lightsabers. So they're little lightsabers from Star Wars, but they were made completely out of foam. So if you hit someone with the foam lightsaber, it would bend over, it would bend in half, it wouldn't hurt at all. So their first battle was going to be these foam lightsabers, and they were going into the woods. So Team Blue was walking in. They all have their foam lightsabers. And then in the distance, they see Team Skibidi Toilet, which is the other half of the kids. And they were their battle chant, bro. Their battle chant was the Skibidi Toilet song. So you hear in the distance, and you can barely see them through the woods. And you hear in the distance, ooh, Skibidi pop pop pop, yes, yes, Skibidi pop pop beep. And all of Team Blue is like, oh, God, not that song again. So they're all marching in, screaming that. And there was something wrong with their lightsabers. So this was the first sign that the Team Skibidi Toilet was about to go way too far. This was the very beginning signs. So their lightsabers were not that floppy. And remember, these were foam lightsabers. These kind of bend it over. It was almost like you were waving around something floppy, man. Like, guys, don't go there in the comment section, please. Anyways, though, so either way, they march in a battle. Team Blue goes in. The subscriber is like, charge! So all of Team Blue rushes in. Team Skibidi Toilet rushes against them. And they start swinging their lightsabers against each other. And almost right away, Team Blue realizes something is wrong. They make contact with Team Skibidi Toilet's lightsabers. And like the Team Skibidi Toilet's lightsabers are like hard as a rock. And they basically just like cut through the lightsabers. So they're immediately losing the battle. And that's when one of the Team Skibidi Toilet members hits one of the Team Blue members with a lightsaber. And it really hurts. So anyways, one of the Team Blue members are like, wait. Something's wrong with these lightsabers. They're like, ceasefire. So they call a ceasefire. They look around. And one of the Team Blue members takes one of the Skibidi Toilet members' lightsabers, looks at it. And so the lightsaber is almost like, you know those kind of like pool noodles? Yeah, these foam lightsabers were basically recolored like pool noodles. So they look in the pool noodle, and there's a metal rod in the noodle section. The reason why these weren't floppy was because there was a metal rod put in them, which one is a massive like cheating advantage, because if you're having a lightsaber fight and you're fighting someone has a floppy stick, someone has a hard as a rock stick, bro, you're gonna win. Second of all, if you hit someone in the head or something with a metal rod, even if it has like a pool noodle around it, that's still dangerous. Super quick, if you're listening on YouTube or Spotify and you go into the description of the video, or if you're on YouTube and you look at the pinned comment, the second link that says click this link to learn how to grow on YouTube. If you guys are kind of coming to the age where you're trying to make some money, YouTube's a pretty good place to make some money. So I put together all the knowledge I've learned over the years of how to grow a channel and monetize it correctly. And if you're interested in that, click that link. Anyways, though, back to the story. So yeah, immediately Team Blue is like, whoa. They start calling foul. And Team Skibidi Toilet is like, it's not our fault that you guys came into battle unprepared. Like, you know what, we're gonna have another battle tomorrow, and you guys better be ready for whatever we throw at you. So Team Blue's like, okay, well then what's the battle? And Team Skibidi Toilet looks at them and says, you guys will see. So, okay, things are getting kind of intense. And Team Skibidi Toilet also says, the battle can happen at any time. Like, hold the fort, like, it's your job to hold the forest. We can strike at any time, day or night. So basically, one of the teams would hold down the forest in a sense, like it would be their home base, and the other team would like sneak in and try and take it over. Today, Team Skibidi Toilet had the forest, and the next day it's the other way around. So anyways, Team Skibidi Toilet took the metal rods out of the pipes, and they had another kind of like floppy lightsaber fight, whatever, but there was something plaguing the fight that just felt wrong. Like something, like it was just like Team Skibidi Toilet was definitely going to be doing, I don't know, they just were not going to be playing fair, and that was almost a fact. However, Team Blue played it smart. Team Blue had a mole on Team Skibidi Toilet. So anyways, that night, both Team Blue and Team Skibidi Toilet had their own like little meetings or whatever to plan for the next day. So during the meetings, Team Blue kind of brought up, first of all, they're like, hey, like, first of all, the Team Skibidi Toilet is like, they're not playing fair. They came here with metal rods. Like, that could have hurt some of us. They were obviously cheating here. And even when, like, we won, like, they kind of, like, it was an unofficial win, but they definitely won. Because I think the kids were too busy watching Skibidi Toilet to train with, like, the floppy lightsabers. It's like, they obviously won when they weren't cheating, but they came in prepared to, like, go too far. And they also said, hey, like, I'm a little worried. Like, they said anything's on the table for tomorrow. Like, what do you think that'll mean? So that's when the subscriber says, like, I didn't want to announce this to any of you guys earlier, just in case, like, you know, I needed to do my own digging. So the subscriber, like, did his own research, quote unquote. I don't necessarily know what that means, but the subscriber said that he did his own research to see if there's any moles in the team, and he kind of he deduced that there wasn't. So he said, okay, like I was hiding this from you guys because I wanted to do my own research and see if any of you guys were potentially spies or double agents. But we have a double agent on Team Skibidi Toilet. He will be giving us information about what their secret weapon will be or what their plan will be for tomorrow so we can prepare in the morning. Unless they attack in the morning, then we're gonna know either way ahead of time. So anyways, they're all waiting. And later that night, the mole comes back and he meets with a subscriber. And everyone else went home, so it's only the subscribers hearing this. They're going to meet tomorrow early in the morning, like 8 a.m. They're all going to get up. They're all going to go to a certain location. But the subscriber looks at the mole and says, okay, what did you hear? And the mole gives them this very terrified look. So basically, the mole says they're going to do a fire attack. And the subscriber's like, okay, bro, what do you mean by they're going to do a fire attack? And he said they didn't really go into a ton of detail, but apparently, they got a hold of, everyone went home and was, instructed. And, I don't know how I wasn't instructed. Maybe they have suspicions about me or something. But everyone was instructed to go home and grab a lighter and, find a lighter from their parents and then come here tomorrow. I don't know exactly what the plan's going to be, but, you guys got to be prepared for this to go crazy. So at this point, the subscriber's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. They're bringing fire into this? Okay, man, pause. This might actually be going too far. And the mole's like, dude, I don't know. Just prepare for anything. So anyways, the subscriber goes to bed, and he just, can't fall asleep because he's thinking, are they going to come in with, matches? Are they going to come in? What are they going to come in and do? So anyways, the next day comes around. It's 8 a.m. They all meet at the spot. The subscriber's a couple minutes late because he, slept through his alarm and very quickly ran out. And everyone's like, dude, where you at? Wow, you said meet at 8 a.m. and you're not here. What's going on? He's like, boys, we got bad news. The mole informed us that they're going to use fire. And everyone looks at him and is like, fire? Real quick, if you made it this far into the video, comment fire down below. That'll be the secret word of the day. I'm going to try and heart as many comments as I can. I'm tapping away, trying to give some hearts. If you want the best chance of getting a heart on YouTube, comment fire 3 times in 3 separate comments. Higher chance I'll see it. Also, because I get so many comments, thank you guys. I can't reply to all of them. But if you want a guaranteed reply, all you got to do is leave your comment as a super thanks. So there's a little heart icon with a $sign. All you got to do is tap that and then make a custom comment. I check that every single night before I go to bed, and I respond to every single comment like that. So that is a guaranteed way to make sure that you get a reply and a heart. And finally, I want to let you guys know that I am on Cameo. It is one of the links in the description and the first link on the pinned comment on YouTube. So it's in the description for YouTube or Spotify. If you want me to say anything you want within reason, obviously, Cameo is the place to do that. It's my official account. I'll get notified and I'll get it done within a day. So I don't know if you want me to say something, that's a place for it to be. Anyways, let's get to the fire attack because this is about to get absolutely crazy. So anyways, they're waiting there all day. They're just kind of sitting, waiting, and they feel like they're just waiting for the attack to happen. So they're guarding the forest at 1, they're guarding the forest at 2. They also all have Nerf guns. They thought, okay, the best thing we can do is probably bring ranged weapon attacks. So they all have Nerf guns. I used to love Nerf guns as a kid. Super fun. Honestly, I've joked around with my college buddies, we should have a massive Nerf gun battle. And they might have been joking, but bro, I'm dead serious. Anyways though, so they're kind of walking around, patrolling the perimeter with their Nerf guns, waiting for signs of anything. So every 30 minutes, they kind of check in or whatever, or one of the patrolling guards will come back and kind of collect all the information, and no one saw anything. There was a few scares, a few times they saw movement and it was a bird or a squirrel or just some random dad walking his dog. But Team Skibidi Toilet was nowhere to be seen. So at this point, they were getting antsy because they knew that a crazy attack was coming. They didn't exactly know what they meant by fire attack, which, by the way, don't play with fire, boys. If you have to take one thing away from this video, do not play with fire. Anyways, so they're kind of antsy. They're kind of nervous. because this is going to be a big deal when it drops. So they're all anxiously waiting around, and that's when it's getting late. Night's coming soon. And so they're kind of like looking at each other like, do we just go back? Is this too late? And that's when they hear it. They hear in the very faint in the distance. They hear like the almost like very far away chanting. So it's not like it's being whispered. It's being shouted, bro. But it's so far away that it's very faint. But they hear, whoa, Skibidi, bop, 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 yes, yes. But they hear it in kind of like a slowed version. It's almost like, whoa, Skibidi, bop, 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 yes. I mean, you can't really take it that seriously because it is the Skibidi Toilet soundtrack at the end of the day. However, I will say that it was very ominous because it was getting dark out. They were on edge, waiting for the Team Skibidi Toilet to attack with an unknown fire attack. So they were already kind of tweaking out a little bit. And then you hear, in the dark, this very slow version of their battle cry. Yeah, bro, I don't know. If I was an 8-year-old, I would be tweaking a little bit myself. So first, they heard the battle cry. And second, they saw the flames. So yeah, Team Skibidi Toilet was coming in. Everyone held like a stick with fire at the end of it. Yeah, I'm not even kidding you guys. They came in with like torches, bro. They're literally coming in with torches. Like, yeah, it's actually getting that serious. So at that point, the subscriber's like, okay, team, they're right there. Ready, aim, fire. So everyone has their Nerf guns and are kind of shooting their Nerf bullets, right? And Team Skibidi Toilet is not even dodging the Nerf bullets. They're ominously chanting, walking towards them with like the big flames or whatever. And they're walking towards them. And the Nerf bullets are just like bouncing off of them, whatever. It's doing basically nothing. So one of the other Team Blue members turns to the subscriber. The subscriber's low-key the captain in the situation. I've kind of alluded to that, and it's not explicitly said, but it definitely feels like that. He's basically like, Captain. He's like, bro, like, what do we do here? He's like, hold the line, hold the line. So they keep shooting their Nerf bullets, and the Team Skibidi Toilet is just getting closer and closer. But this is where blank hits the fan. One of the Skibidi Toilet members gets one of the Nerf bullets, hits him in the face, hits him in the eye. He's like, ow, drops his thing, drops his like flame stick. And his flame stick hits the ground, and it's like a brush. So it's like a bunch of really dry, dead grass because it's fall. So it's like the grass is dying out. It's getting really cold, which also means the grass is really dry and flammable. Almost immediately as it hits the ground, boof, like a big thing of flames, as if it hit like a gallon of kerosene or something. Like, it's bad. So at this point, everyone's like, stop, 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 and like the whole whatever is done. And Team Blue, like one of the people are like, we got to call someone, It's like an actual fire. And Team Skibidi Toilet's like, so do you guys like give up? One of the members is like, oh, so do you guys like give up the forest? And that's when the subscriber's like, bro, like this is beyond our games right now. This forest could go up in flames. Yeah, so at this point, some of the people are like running back, trying to like get help or something. The Skibidi Toilet members are complaining because they said, oh, you guys are like ducking out. As the fire is growing, by the way. So the fire is starting to spread. In this town, it's a very old town. So like a lot of the houses don't have perfect like, a lot of them are made like from old wooden structures. A lot of them are like surrounded by the woods. And you know, a forest fire, that thing's actually deadly and it spreads super fast. And especially these houses would go down in seconds, bro. Like they'd be out for the count. So anyways, the subscriber and one of his other Team Blue members runs back home and says, we got to call the fire department. So the mom immediately does and says, what's going on? And he's like, we're playing, and some of the other opposing team, they brought fire. And the mom's like, you guys were playing with fire. And the subscriber's like, I wasn't, my team wasn't. They brought fire, it was bad. And she's like, okay, whatever, where is the fire? So anyways, fire department's called. A fire truck goes over to the scene. The Skibidi Toilet members were still complaining with like the Team Blue members. So at this point, parents are getting called. Everyone's rushing to the scene. And like at this point, like parents are walking in, the subscriber comes over, and like still some of the kids are holding fire sticks. So at this point, the parents are like, put that down, put that down. And obviously, putting that down is a bad idea. So anyways, the firemen come over, and they're just like, boys, you shouldn't be playing with fire. And they have like the big hose, they're spraying it down. They're collecting like the fire sticks and extinguishing them. And let's just say that the last couple of days of break, they were all grounded. Unfortunately, the subscriber in Team Blue, they tried to explain to their parents that they were not doing that. They brought Nerf guns, and if you want a proof, you could look at, who was holding the fire sticks, the total number of fire sticks, which was the same number of Team Skibidi toilet members or whatever, and that they brought their Nerf guns. But none of the parents wanted to hear it, because at the end of the day, they were all playing with fire and nearly burned down the entire neighborhood. And that would have been kind of bad. How's it going, everyone? Today we got a story time of a Skibidi toilet obsessed kid who destroys the subscriber's birthday party, partially due to his obsession with Skibidi toilet. This is a pretty funny story and pretty cringy, so I know you'll like it. So subscribe to the channel if you're new and like story times. Leave a like on the video right now to claim your free nothing. With that being said, let's just jump right into it. Anyway, so we're going to call the subscriber who submitted this story Adam. So Adam was having a birthday party. He was turning 14, and he was having a birthday party at probably one of the most favorite spots to have a birthday party in his town. And that was in this kind of a combination of a laser tag, arcade, pizza place it was kind of designed for a fun birthday party. And basically every single kid in that town really loved to have their birthday parties there. So there was also a rule at Adam's school, since he went to a smaller school. And because he was in a smaller school, there's a lot less people in his class. And for that reason, the school kind of enacted, they had kind of more control over what the kids were able to do. And they also had a rule where if you invited one person to a birthday party, you needed to invite everyone to the birthday party. This was to make sure that no kids were feeling left out. And while I do understand the idea behind the rule, at the end of the day, sometimes if you're just not friends with someone, I don't know. I feel if I'm not friends with someone, I don't know if I necessarily want them at my birthday party, you know what I mean? But anyways, so there's another kid who we're going to call Ben, because of course we're going to call him Ben. And Ben caught a case of the Skibidi toilet disease, where basically most of the cases of the Skibidi toilet disease happened over the summer, or I should say specifically last summer, last summer, where basically this Skibidi toilet, which is this, I don't even know how to describe it. It's kind of this web series, and I mean, you can like what you like. I really don't care if you like it. But basically, if you have Skibidi toilet disease, you basically watched it for 25 hours out of the day. Every single waking moment, you were watching a new Skibidi toilet video. And maybe it was decaying the inside of your brain. Actually, quite likely it was decaying the inside of your brain. And so, when Ben came back, Ben was Ben and Adam, the subscriber, were never the closest of friends. They were okay. They were on, I don't know, okay terms with each other, but it was never they were the tightest or anything like that. However, when Ben came back, he exhibited the signs of extreme Skibidi toilet disease, where Ben would only communicate by screaming Skibidi bop yes yes at people in class. He'd be singing the Skibidi toilet song all class, and it would literally be driving people insane. He would be perching out in the bathroom and sitting on the toilet to pretend that he's one of those toilet head people. Buddy had a full case of the Skibidi toilet disease, and it was bad. Yeah, so sure enough, Ben, the birthday was coming around, and since everyone needed to be invited, Ben also needed to be invited. So Adam was talking to his mom, and he was like, Mom, so one day, this a couple days before the party, Adam was like, Mom, is there any way we cannot invite, we can avoid inviting Ben? He's been super, super annoying. Everyone doesn't like him. I mean, this sounds kind of mean, but imagine if some kid was just going Skippy, boop, 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 yes, yes. Every millisecond of the day, people were saying, buddy, could you please stop with that? And he would just ignore them and scream it louder. Okay. At that point, it's almost justified to call this kid annoying. Maybe it's not the nicest thing ever to go around saying, oh, you're annoying. Oh, you're doing this. But at some point, it's, bro, if you're being that annoying, to an extent, you kind of deserve to be called annoying. Anyways, though, so sure enough, the subscriber's mom was like, hey, I'm sorry, we can't really do anything about that. If we could, I would. You know that. But you also understand that there's a pretty strict rule. You could get in trouble, and it could be a big deal. I don't know if the school could actually get him in that big of trouble. I don't know if it was actually that big of a deal, But either way, Adam's mom was really not budging on this, so unfortunately, Ben was going to come to the party. So in Adam's mind, what likely was going to happen was Ben was going to be annoying, like super annoying, but not much more than that. Like, sure, Ben would have been like, went in there probably just annoying everyone, singing like Skibidi Toilet songs the entire time. But little did Ben know that little did Adam know that Ben was actually about to completely just like destroy the entire party, like straight up destroy it. Yeah, so sure enough, the day the party eventually comes around, and Ben and his parents, they get there early to the place, kind of like I don't even really know what to call it, because it's an arcade, it's a pizza place, it's a laser tag. It's kind of like a combination of all three of those places. So whatever you want to call that. Anyways, though, so they eventually get there a little bit early to help set up. Adam's pretty excited because this is gonna be a pretty hype birthday party. This is gonna be pretty nice. So anyways, they eventually get there, and people start coming in. People start making it there, and kind of like there's like a designated time for the laser tag, but in between then, you get there, you get a bag full of these like arcade tokens. You get to go around, kind of like free roam, do what you want to do, spend your tokens, try and win tickets, try and win more tokens. I don't know. It's a fun time. Like, it's a really cool party. So people are pulling up, people are showing up. They're like, oh man, like this is so great. Like everyone's just going around having a really good time. So is the subscriber, and Ben is not there. So Adam is kind of thinking like, or kind of hoping or wishfully thinking like, oh, well, maybe, Ben is just not going to pull up after all. And, we can all be done with this and not have to deal with him, even though he got invited. But no, sure enough, eventually Ben pulls up, and Ben's mom goes to Adam's mom and says, hey, I got to go. I'll be back in a couple hours. And I don't know, like no other parent did that. Every other parent was there kind of like monitoring their child. But no, Ben's mom left for a little bit. That's okay. That's not like that big of a deal if your mom like gets up and leaves you at a birthday party, because it's not as if you're completely unsupervised. However, it would have been in this situation, yeah, let's just say it would have been a lot better if she was there to supervise a thing or two. Anyways, though, so sure enough, eventually Ben gets there, and Ben has like an iPad or some kind of tablet with him, and it has like 10% battery left, or a low amount of battery. I know that sounds like a really miscellaneous detail, but you got to understand that's actually an incredibly important detail, which sounds kind of ridiculous, but just hear me out on this, okay? Hear me out. Anyways, so sure enough, right, the subscriber is having fun with his friends, and he looks over, and he sees that Ben is sitting at one of the tables all by himself on his iPad. So Adam and his friends kind of like look at each other, and they're like, okay, like, I don't know, like maybe like we should go over there, tell him like he should join us. He has a bag of tokens, like he should go play some of the games with us. Let's just make sure he's having a good time. So look, Adam's a nice guy. He wants to make sure that everyone at his birthday party, even the annoying people, are having a good time. See, good guy Adam. Everyone comment good guy Adam down below. So they walk over there, and they're like, Adam's like, hey man, how's it? And Ben says, don't talk to me, I'm listening to Skibidi Toilet. And then he like turns it up even loudly, like he turns up his iPad to almost like mute them out. And you just hear, Skibidi bop bop bop, yes, Skibidi bop bop beep beep. And at this point, Adam and his friends look at each other like, if the kid just wants to sit there listening to a Skibidi Toilet, fine. Do what you want to do, man. However, you can say that politely. You know what I mean? Like, you can politely say, nah, man, I'm good. I appreciate it, though, but I'm good. But no, he had to be like, get out of here. I'm listening to Skibidi Toilet. Anyways, so Adam and his friends kind of look at each other. They're all kind of giving each other side eyes. And they were like, okay, well, we tried. So Adam and his friends leave. And they go back to somewhere else in the arcade, and they find a game. And Adam's like, wow, like, I knew that Ben was annoying, but I guess I haven't really interacted enough with him to realize that he's not only annoying, but he's a big jerk too, which is kind of a bad combination, I'm not going to lie. So anyways, they're kind of chilling. They're having a good time. And eventually, they kind of like walk around the arcade. They're winning tickets, and they go to the ticket booth because I think they hit like the jackpot at one of the games. Was the game's odds like rigged in a higher favor because the birthday boy was about to play? Who knows? But either way, they won. So they're going to the prize counter. They're collecting like, they're submitting all their tickets and they're seeing how many they have. They're kind of looking through all the prizes to see which one they want to do. And that's when they hear, oh, oh, and they look around and they see Ben sitting at the table and he's freaking out. So basically what happened was his iPad ran out of battery and he's like, Skibidi, I need Skibidi toilet. So, everyone's kind of like looks over, at least the people in the nearby vicinity, because some kid's just screaming at the top of his lungs. So you're going to go over there and see what's going on. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to see what's up. And so, Adam kind of looks over. He's like, I'm not dealing with that. And Ben just is like, I need Skibidi toilet. I need Skibidi toilet. So he gets all like dark and demonic and stuff. And so anyways, he's like, Ben stands up, starts huffing, puffing. He's like, he starts like walking around, like hunched over. And I don't know, like Buddy's actually having a full-blown mental breakdown because he can't have access to Skibidi toilet. Like this is actually a full-blown problem at this point. So anyways, at this point, Ben starts screaming, give me Skibidi toilet. And he like runs full charge at one of the arcade machines and kicks it, like slams into it and knocks him over. Oh yeah, I forgot to say, Ben is not like the most athletic kid ever, but he is quite a big boy. Buddy's a big boy. So if he rams into you with enough power, well, you're actually going to like probably fly back. So Ben knocks over one of the arcade machines and then stands on top of it and screams, I need Skibidi toilet. Real quick, if you made it this far into the video and you're watching on YouTube, comment toilet down below 3 times, 3 separate comments. I will try and heart as many of those comments as I possibly can. I also want to let you guys know, if you're listening on YouTube or Spotify, if you go to the description of this video and you go down a little bit, there are a couple links. The first link, if you're on YouTube, is the Spotify link. But under that, there are 2 links. The first one is a Cameo link. I want to let you guys know that I am officially on Cameo. So if you want me to make a personalized video for you, either go on Cameo, look up Connor Pugs, or follow the link. The second one, I have a link to a YouTube course. If you guys are interested yourself in growing or making a YouTube channel, maybe it's something you've always wanted to do, I kind of condensed all the knowledge that I've learned over the last 7 or 8 years of doing this into a couple, probably 2 to 3, 4 hours worth of videos. And if you're interested in that, click that link down below. So just want to let you guys know that those 2 things are there. And finally, if you want to submit a story to me, all you got to do is go to Instagram, look up Connor Pugs, follow me, and then message me the entire story. Anyways, let's get back to this Skibidi toilet kid absolutely destroying the birthday party. And by the way, it's about to get so much worse to the point where he shuts down the entire place. The whole place has to be evacuated. Yeah, it gets bad. Yeah, so at this point, the subscribers kind of looking around as everyone else has kind of stopped what they're doing. And you just see Ben go, I need Skibidi toilet. And just it's just on there screaming, dancing, or it's actually a problem, bro. So anyways, right, sure enough, the subscriber's looks at his mom, because all the other moms are there. And remember, Ben's mom's not there to calm him down, give him a booster shot of Skibidi or something. I don't know what she'd do at this point. But anyways, at this point, Ben's like, does anyone have Skibidi toilet? And everyone's looking around. The parents are super confused. And also the kids are super confused. What do you mean, bro, when you say, does anyone have Skibidi toilet? Bro, you're looking at them like they're some kind of, I don't know, dealer of something you shouldn't have. What? What are you saying right now? Anyways, though, so he runs over, because there's a fire extinguisher that's kind of open and laying there, just in case there's a fire. Ben grabs the fire extinguisher and starts going around, blowing it at people, saying, give me Skibidi! Give me Skibidi toilet now! Starts blowing it around. So at this point, one of the managers looks over, and he sees some kid, absolutely decimating the place and other people with fire extinguisher, that white kind of foam substance stuff, which isn't just white foam. It's like, it's got all these chemicals in it. You shouldn't be breathing that in, all that kind of stuff. So immediately the guy's like, all right, we got to call in security. All of a sudden you start hearing meep, meep, meep. I think they like pulled like the equivalent of the fire alarm to get everyone out of there, because there's obviously, well, I shouldn't say obviously, but just so you know, there's not a Skibidi Toilet Kid has gone insane alarm, so they're going to have to go with the fire alarm. Yeah, so sure enough, right, the subscriber's just kind of looking around like, hello? So they're all ushered out of there. They all have to walk out. All the parents are walking out. And this kid is just like, give me Skibidi Toilet. So like there's like some local guards on duty because it's like connected or near a mall or associated somehow. So eventually like the guards go in there. They subdue the Skibidi Toilet Kid. Eventually it's like, speak of the devil, the Skibidi Toilet Kid's mom is walking back, like gets out of her car, is walking to pick him up, because this is around the time the party would have ended. Oh yeah, they totally missed their laser tag thing, by the way. That was supposed to be scheduled for 30 minutes ago, but the Skibidi Toilet Kid had a different plan. So anyways, she walks up, and the subscriber's mom looks at her and says, I think you have to go get your son. And she's like, oh, what do you mean? And she like points over at like two security guards who have him like, not chained up, but have him like together so he can't run away, and he's screaming, give me Skibidi. And at this point, Ben's mom's like, oh my God. She goes over there, talks to the guards, they exchange whatever, and like she's like dragging Ben out of there, screaming at him like, I can't believe you did this again. And the subscriber overhears her say, did this again. And he looks at one of his friends, he's like, did you just hear her? She said, did this again. How's it going, everyone? Today we got a story time of a kid who almost murders his own mother over Skibidi Toilet. Dude, I know, it sounds ridiculous. I know. It's a crazy story. It's at least entertaining. Even though you'll probably, I don't know, lose a few brain cells from the absolute brain rot, you'll at least be entertained. So sit back, relax, subscribe to the channel if you're new, leave a like in the video right now to claim your very own free nothing. And with that being said, guys, let's just jump right into it. So we're going to call the subscriber who submitted this story Alex. So anyways, it was another one of these stories where there was a kid in Alex's class, and we're going to call this kid Ben. Because of course we're going to call this kid Ben. Come on now, you guys know me too well. But anyways, this was another one of those classic cases of Ben. Over the summer, he got infected with what we call Skibidi Toilet Syndrome. You guys might be thinking, okay, Connor, what is that? Essentially, well, you know what? Actually, I'll give Ben as the case study for exactly what that is. So over the summer, Ben, the classmate of Alex, didn't really have that structured of a summer. His parents, maybe had a few ideas for what he was going to do, but honestly, the plan was more or less for him to just chill at home and play video games. Fair enough, man. I mean, when you're a parent, you're busy, and maybe you can't come together with the most amazing structured plan for your kid. Totally fair. I understand. However, right, little did the parents know that these set of actions would have dire consequences. So Ben, not really knowing what to do, spent a lot of time on the internet. He's playing video games, doing whatever he was going to do, and he stumbled across the new viral sensation of last summer, the Skibidi Toilet videos. And you guys might be thinking, like, 1% of you probably don't know what that is. And, I'm actually going to tell you not to look it up because I think my life was significantly better before I knew what Skibidi Toilet was. I think I actually had a quality of life decrease when I learned what that was. Anyways, though, so Ben was infatuated with the Skibidi Toilet videos, and he started watching hours. And when I say hours, I mean genuinely hours out of his day, just purely and strictly dedicated to these Skibidi Toilet videos. It was pretty ridiculous. And it got to the point where he watched all the episodes again and again. He watched fan animation episodes. He listened to the Skibidi Toilet song again and again and again. And did I say that he listened to it again and again? The point I'm trying to say is the sheer amount of time he spent listening and watching and just overall consuming content related to Skibidi Toilet would drive a normal person clinically insane. So sure enough, right, if you expose yourself to that much brain rot, then your brain will probably rot. I don't think that's a crazy comment for me to make. I don't think that's a ridiculous conclusion for me to jump to either. So sure enough, right, let's fast forward to the first day of school. So the last week of August, it's time for Alex and all of his classmates to come back to school. And Alex and Ben weren't necessarily that close. They kind of knew of each other, and Alex was aware of Ben. And, I think if he passed him in the halls, he's in a situation where he would say hello. He'd say hi. He was cordial. He was friendly. I think he maybe had a class project with him once. He was at that level of friendship/relationship with this guy. But he knew him well enough to know if there was a massive change in his behavior, he'd be able to pick up on it. Sure, if Ben came back and, he had a slightly different accent or he started saying some slang word a lot, yeah, Alex wouldn't have picked up on that. But he knew him well enough if there was a massive discernible change, he would notice it. So first day of class, they all walk in and Alex walks into his fourth period class. And in this fourth period class, Ben is in that class too. So Alex gets there a little bit early. Alex throughout the year probably is going to start showing up a little bit later and later and later as the days go on. But on the first day of class, I will give it to Alex. It does make quite a lot of sense to get there early. Sets a good first impression with the teacher, and it's definitely what I try and do. And then I skip the rest of the classes. Just kidding. Don't do that. Anyways, though, so he gets there, and he gets there before Ben, and he's sitting there, back to class with his friends and, saying hello and, trying to have a good first impression to their new teacher because, first impressions, a lot of someone's assumptions of you, like 80% of it or so is within the first impression. Sure, you can change it over time, but Alex was not trying to put in the effort later if you could put in a little bit of effort now. Ben comes into the class, walks in, and immediately he just breaks out into song. And it isn't any old song, right? I'm going to allow you guys, and I'm speaking to you right now. I'm speaking to you. I'm going to allow you to guess what song he broke out into. And remember, he has contracted the fatal, and by fatal I mean fatal for everyone around him, virus of the Skibidi toilet virus. What song do you personally think that he immediately started blurting out the second he saw another human being? If you answered anything besides the Skibidi toilet song, then I'm questioning if you've been paying attention at all during this story, which, fair enough. You can do what you want. But yes, he just starts singing that song. And to protect my own brain cells, I'm not gonna sing it. But just imagine that the entire class period is just being on a very low murmur because he starts singing it super loud when he walks into class, which everyone's kind of looking at him like, are you okay, bro? Because he's just like, oh, Skibidi Bubba. He's just like singing that again and again and again on loop. And when the teacher starts teaching class, because, the teacher stands in the front of the class, addressing the class, writing stuff on the board, instead of singing at the same volume, because I think the teacher would be like, yo, shut the fuck. No, the teacher would be like, hey, buddy, hey, Ben, whatever your name is, can you please quiet down a little bit? I'm trying to teach you a little class here. But instead, Ben was basically murmuring the song, so it was just a little bit under the radar of the teacher, and the teacher didn't say anything, but just loud enough so that everyone would get really annoyed. So you might be thinking, okay, well, maybe, this Skibidi toilet, whatever the hell that means, right? Maybe that stuff just rubbed off on him over the summer. And, as he gets himself back into the normal daily routine, the day-to-day of going to school, well, maybe at that point he's, just going to assimilate back into, I don't know, normal societal habits. He's going to be one with his community and not an outcast that spams Skibidi toilet songs all day. Well, I'm sorry, but you'd be wrong. So yes, for the next several months, every single day, Ben would walk in and he'd just start blasting the Skibidi toilet song. And there were a few times when, the teacher would basically tell him to, quiet down. And it kind of became a little point of contention between the two. And whenever that would happen, Ben would get super mad. He'd, cross his arms, put in his earbuds, and then start listening to the Skibidi toilet song. No. You thought that, oh, well, if he's not singing it, then, he wouldn't be consuming it. False. He's very much still consuming more Skibidi toilet because, man, what else would you do in your life? If it wasn't for watching Skibidi toilet brain rot compilations all day, I just think I would go to bed and never wake up again because what would be the point? You guys agree? Yes? Anyways, so this goes on for a while. 2 months in, Alex is that, he's sitting at the table with all of his friends, and the conversation of Ben comes up because they're all aware what's going on. Sure, a lot of these friends Alex doesn't have this specific class with, but a few of them have been in other classes. Like some of them have just walk by him, and he's like, "What? It's getting out of control." And they're having a conversation like this is actually this is becoming annoying. And they all kind of come to the conclusion that, they're not going to do anything about it, but it's just all of them have this unique experience of being profoundly annoyed by this kid, which is kind of funny. And, if you ever find yourself in a situation where a group of people are coming together because they are so incredibly annoyed by you, then either they're, jerks, or maybe you should look at what you're doing with a very, very serious glance. Anyways, though, the following week is when Ben starts to up it a notch, bring it up a little bit. So he comes into school, and so, Alex is in school, he's sitting there. It's before the first period, he's chilling with his boys. And sure enough, the doors open up, and Ben walks in, and Ben has a toilet head or a toilet seat over his head. And no, he doesn't have a whole toilet bowl. He doesn't have a whole porcelain toilet ripped out of, the bathroom. No, but, the toilet seat, toilet bowl head that can detach, right? He has that, and he's placed that squarely over his own head. So everyone's looking at him, and everyone's pointing, everyone's murmuring. And sure enough, he's coming in, and he is, instead of just saying the Skibidi toilet song, because a lot of times he would just be singing it at I don't know if you guys, ever sing a little song to yourself, especially you're in the shower, or you're walking around in your house alone, or I don't know, you're singing the song, it's like a talking pace. But Ben was legitimately screaming at the top of his lungs. The top of his lungs. The Skibidi Bop, that whole song, screaming it as loudly as possible. And with the toilet head on. So about 20 minutes later, or 10 minutes later, soon after, I should say, principal comes, and he's escorted to the principal's office. You might be thinking, well, besides the, absolutely obliterating the cringe barrier and giving everyone around him stage 12 cringe disease, right? What exactly did he do wrong? Well, the principal wasn't exactly sure besides disturbing the peace, because the peace was definitely disturbed in whatever fashion it was before it was disturbed. So at this point at lunch, Alex and his friends are sitting there again being like, dude, no, this is on the low getting kind of crazy. And they were like, yeah, this kid is getting stranger and stranger and stranger. And there were reports from other kids, and they were talking about this at this meeting, that this kid would hide out, stalk in random bathrooms. You would go in a bathroom, maybe you're out of class, you need to, sit in the bathroom, maybe you're just going on your phone for TikTok or whatever. Who cares? Who cares why you're doing it? You go to open a stall that's not locked, by the way, so it's not that you broke into a stall. It's unlocked, so you go in there, maybe not even paying attention, and you just see Ben sitting in the toilet. And then he starts singing the song at you, right? So this kid was starting to garner quite a bit of a reputation. And it was clear that things were, instead of progressing in the right direction, as, yeah, sure, he spent 25 hours a day over the summer listening to Skibidi toilet songs. I think I'd be a little weird after that happened to me. I mean, probably same with you, right? If we're being serious with ourselves, if we committed to watching 25 hours, 25, not 24, 25 every single day of Skibidi toilet, I think I'd go a little crazy too. I think I'd be a little strange, at least for a little while. But instead of when, Ben came back to society, right, and is interacting with other human beings, instead of getting, a little bit better, and slowly every day, acting a bit more normal, he progressively got stranger, and stranger every single day. Slowly believing that he was actually truly a toilet head Skibidi toilet. I don't even know what that means, man. At this point, I'm an adult, so I don't know what Skibidi freaking toilet lore is. I'm trying to tell a story that one of you guys told to me, and I'm trying to bring the pieces together the best I possibly can. One like equals one prayer for me. Thank you very much. Anyways, this story is about to escalate more and more, because I don't know if you guys have been to, where you are in your math class, but if you've ever dealt with a exponential curve, it basically gets steeper and steeper and steeper by a larger and larger margin the farther you go on the x-axis. And this is getting exponentially worse. So in the very beginning, it was getting a little bit more cringe, and then he jumps very quickly to mega cringe, and now he is about to jump to psych ward insane Skibidi toilet person. It's about to get pretty bad. If I could have your attention for just 30 seconds, that's all I asked, one little detour within the video. If you made it this far, I want you to comment toilet down below. I'm just super curious to see the names and the faces of people who made it this far into the video, as you made it pretty far, and that helps in the algorithm. And very finally, if you go into the description of this video on YouTube or Spotify, I have 3 things in there. I have a link to my Spotify, if you're listening on YouTube and you like Spotify. I have a list to my mailing list, which I really, really highly suggest, if you've not joined it, go on there. It's a Google form. Give me your first name and give me your email, and then I will always be able to contact you, because I'm not always reaching you in the social media algorithms. And I'm going to be posting a lot of really interesting, behind the scenes, like how to grow a YouTube channel and a lot of marketing, because, I've been a little absent recently. And that's because, I've been developing some, businesses where I help other brands and individuals grow their presence online. And I've really been enjoying that, but I want to share a little bit of the insight I'm getting with you guys as well. Also being able to reach you just in case, there's major life events and something important happens. And if I can't reach you, right, well, then you're going to be kept out of the loop. So just go in the description right now and fill out that Google form. It'll take you 10 seconds or less, and you'll gain information if you want to start a YouTube channel or really anything online. Look, 30 seconds of the right information can save you 3 years of learning and failing on the learning curve. It's definitely worth your time. And finally, putting my Instagram down there, because definitely go follow me, because I post on my story a little bit, but also that's where you submit the stories to. You message me via Instagram, you send me a message with the story. Anyways, I told you guys, and I promised you that things were about to get exponentially crazier. And you might be thinking, well, Connor, Ben coming in with a toilet head and screaming Skibidi toilet and hiding on the bathroom, that's pretty bad. And you're making the claim that it's going to get exponentially worse from here? So maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 times worse? Yes. One day, Ben does not come into school. And, you don't really think that much of it. I don't know. Kids are always getting sick, right? The kids are always getting sick. You're catching the flu. Kids are being all nasty in those, Chuck E. Cheese ball pits. You're catching some disease in there. Let's not be wrong. So kids always don't come in. But then he doesn't come in for a week. And normally, look, if you got the flu, you're out for 3 to 4 days max. Then he doesn't come in for 2 weeks. And Alex and his boys are sitting at the lunch table. And that's when one of his boys sits down and says, look, this is this is crazy. I don't know if I believe this or not, but there's a rumor going around about Ben. So obviously people lean in and they're listening to hear what has to be said. And this friend at the table, he's like, this is really hard for me to understand, but apparently, and I don't know if you can trust me on this, but apparently Ben went crazy and thought he was genuinely Skibidi toilet, not trolling or messing around or anything, but genuinely thought it. And his parents were trying to stop him or something, and he grabbed one of his baseball bats and was swinging it at his mom, and he had to get removed by the police or something. So immediately everyone at the table's what? Because that's not just something you hear and you're like, oh, ha, Ben, so funny for that, I'll see him tomorrow. It's whoa. Whoa. So yeah, rumor spread almost immediately. Before this moment, no one was really talking about it. And almost genuinely after this moment, everyone was talking about it. It was the buzz. And every single day that Ben did not come back to the school, the rumor doubled in its not only spreading power, but in the belief in people's minds and hearts if it was true. Every single day he wasn't there, it doubled that magnitude. And it all came up to a climax point when they all received one night. Alex was, sitting, on his computer, playing Fortnite or whatever with the boys. And on call, one of the guys was like, boys, check the email. So obviously Alex is like, oh, okay. Pulls out his phone or goes on his computer, opens up his school email, and he gets an email from the principal saying, there's a lot of rumors circulating around about one of our students. I would just like to say that, the student is no longer going to be in attendance. And for sake of the family, please, refrain from, speaking about it. Terrible way to handle a rumor with a bunch of high school kids, by the way. Absolutely terrible call. However, that immediately sent everyone everyone's like, oh my God, like it's confirmed, it's confirmed. However, it's not confirmed. If anything, Alex has not found any reports or any publications or any public records about any of this happening. All he knows is to this day, Ben has not returned to school, and that the principal has not denied the rumors. Not that he needs to deny them or that him not denying it proves it to be true. It's not a strong correlation. You can't imply that directly. It's not a good proof right there. I do math proofs for my major, so I'm pretty good at how to put those together, and I can tell you if a proof is good or not. However, I can say that in most rumors, right, this might not be completely true of a rumor, but within most rumors, there's a grain of truth, and there's at least a grain of truth. And the question is, how much of this rumor is true, and how much of this is based on what really happened? And to this day, Alex still doesn't know what happened to Ben. He never sees him around. He used to see him around the mall a couple times, never sees him around. He has not returned to school. Alex's mom says that, Ben's parents have gone, dead silent on Facebook and any other place that they are. Apparently, some parents reached out to make sure they're okay. Didn't even see the messages. So a little creepy, if you ask me. How's it going, everyone? Today we got a story time of a kid in the subscribers class who starts to identify as Skibidi toilet, dude. I can't even say that with a straight face. I swear this generation is sincerely doomed. So if that's an interesting story to you, then sit back, relax, subscribe to the channel if you're new and like stories. Leave a like in the video right now to claim your free nothing. And with that being said, let's just jump right into it. So we're going to call the subscriber who submitted this story Tommy. So anyways, this all happened one day a couple months ago. So there's a kid in Tommy's class who we're going to call Ben. Ben was an interesting guy. I mean, if this kid is later on in the story going to start identifying as Skibidi toilet, well, then you already know he's interesting. Anyways, so one day, Tommy's in class, and this kid comes in, and something's just a little bit different, right? They're wearing a name tag, and it was weird because at this point, why would you wear a name tag after, a couple weeks of being in class? Yeah, maybe it makes sense for, if you wanted to wear a name tag on the first day of class, which I'm not going to lie, it's even a little bit weird. If they're not handed out and it's not like everyone's doing it, it's a little weird to do that either way. Anyways, though, this kid comes in wearing a name tag. And the name tag, instead of saying Ben, which was Buddy's name, right, that's his name, it said Skibidi. So at this point, the subscriber, Tommy, kind of turns over, looks at one of his friends, kind of gives him a little poke, and is like, yo, and looks up at this kid who has a name tag, and it just says Skibidi on the name tag. They thought, for a second, at first, the reasonable person would assume, okay, this guy's trolling, and this is some kind of, unfunny joke. Okay, Buddy tried to, rip a joke and missed. This happens. It happens to the best of us. Sometimes it happens to some of us more than others, and maybe Ben just tried to be funny here and just failed on the execution and the planning and the idea and the entire joke. It just wasn't funny. But either way, right, so Tommy kind of looks over at his friend, gives him a little nudge, and his friend looks up and, looks at Ben, sees the name tag that says Skibidi, and just looks back and is kind of gives, because it's middle of class, so they're not going to start talking, but kind of looks at Tommy and gives him a bit of a confused look in the sense of I don't know, I don't know either, bro. That's kind of weird. Anyways, though, so they kind of don't think anything of it. Tommy really just at this point thinks it's some kind of unfunny joke with poor execution that no one else found funny. He doesn't for a second think that it's an actual serious thing. So the both of them, meaning Tommy and his friend, just kind of brushed it off, didn't think much of it, and honestly didn't even talk about it afterwards. I mean, I think they kind of spoke about when this story gets crazier and crazier, they kind of reflect back on it. But at the moment, in that moment, they just, or later that day, they just totally forgot about it. It was just kind of a weird thing. Every single day, there'll be things that are that's kind of strange. But if you don't really think much of it, which, he just thought it was kind of a crappy joke that just didn't work, you're not going to think that much of it. Anyways, though, so the next day is when stuff gets really... Actually, no, I'm jumping ahead. That night is when things get interesting. So they follow Ben on Instagram, which, by the way, if you want to submit stories, like this story was submitted to me, all you got to do is go to Instagram, look up Connor Pugs, follow me, and then message me your story. Do not message me, do you want a story? Yes, I do. It's how I make my videos. So just send me the story, and I will find them there. Anyways, though, so they follow Ben on Instagram, so they kind of like, I don't know, you just follow kids in your class. That's what I would do. I've always kind of had like a gripe against people who are in your class, who know who you are. You request to follow them, they accept your follow request, and then they just don't follow you back. I'm like, bro, you're not a celebrity. You're not famous. Like, even on my account, now, not my private one, but my public one, has over 1 million followers. If I know someone, I'll follow them back because it's not that deep. Anyways, I'm kind of going on a tangent here. That night, Tommy was sitting in bed. He was on Instagram, probably looking at Instagram Reels, watching someone die on Instagram Reels for the 10th time that day, because I don't know why Instagram Reels is like that, but I see people die like 17 times a day from like car crashes. I'm like, dude, is this not against terms of service? Anyways, though, he's just kind of chilling, and that's when he sees that Ben posts his story. So I don't know, he was just casually like clicking through stories or whatever, and that's when he gets to Ben's, and it says, I now identify as Skibidi Toilet. My new name is Skibidi, and I would like you to refer to me as such. And it was like a photo of like, it was like a black background. So either just like a photo of like, you know, like if you just like press it up against your pants or a wall, it just, the photo looks black or whatever, with this text on top of it. So immediately Tommy screenshots this, sends it to his friend, who we'll call him Will. I don't know. We'll give him a name. He sends it to Will and is like, yo, ? And sends that to him. So Tommy sends that photo to Will, and, you know, they get on call for a second, and they start talking about this. And Tommy at first is like, bro, if this is a joke, he's really, like, stretching this. Like, he's really, like, making this, like, he's milking this joke. And it's not even like it started as a funny joke. It started as a good joke. And over time, like, he just keeps making references and milking the joke till it becomes brutally unfunny. It started brutally unfunny. And there's a certain point where it almost becomes funny how much you milk the brutally unfunny joke from the sheer irony of you doing that. But this was not one of those cases. So anyways, at this point, Tommy kind of like is on the phone with Will, and Will brings up the possibility. He's like, dude, like, I know like this is super troll or whatever, but at this point, like, we got to consider the fact that maybe he's not joking. And, you know, Tommy looks at him, he's like, dude, come on. He says he identifies as freaking Skibidi Toilet. Like, get out of here. And Will's like, I don't know, man. Like, he came in with a name tag, and he wasn't, like, going around being like, hey, guys, like, nice to meet you, I'm Skibidi. He wasn't trolling. Like, he just very casually had that name tag on. And then he posts on his story. Yeah, I mean, the story post could have been a joke. It could have been a troll, very obviously. I mean, at this point, Tommy and Ben still believe that this was some elaborate, unfunny, cringy joke with poor execution. They were only now slightly considering, emphasis on the slight, because this was not like a number one, like, yes, this is what's going to happen. This was a slight consideration that there was potentially a chance that he actually was dead serious. So anyways, the next day, they roll into school. And this is where things get really strange. So anyways, they get into the class with Ben, which is towards the later half of the day. And there's already some murmurs about something happening. Like, anyway, so Tommy and Will were at lunch, and they overheard some kid being like, yo, you hear about, like, what's up with Ben? And Tommy's like, yeah, he, like, posted stuff on his story, right? And the kid looks at Tommy, he's like, dude, wait, have you not seen Ben today? And Tommy's like, no, that I haven't. And he's like, do you have, like, class with him or something? Tommy's like, yeah, actually, right after lunch, I have class with him. And the kid looks at him and is like, dude, you're going to want to go to that class. Tommy's like, what? He's like, dude, I don't want to spoil it for you. And Tommy is really confused. He's like, okay, that's weird. So anyways, Tommy and Will, they go into class, they roll in, and they walk in and they literally freeze at the front of the classroom. Like, they just full-blown stop. Anyways, so they stop at the front of the class, not because, like, you know, they were just, like, you know, casually stopping to, like, talk, or it was a abrupt stop, because they were so incredibly shocked at what they saw that they thought, okay, something is wrong. Like, my eyes must be processing reality incorrectly, because there's no way this is real. Ben was in class, and he must have gotten there before him. The rest of the class was, by the way, like kind of like whispering and looking at each other or whatever, and kind of looking at Ben, because Ben was in class, sitting there. Yes, he had his name tag. He had the name tag, Skibidi, whatever. He also had a toilet bowl over his head. So obviously he didn't take like a whole he didn't take the whole like ceramic toilet out of like he didn't rip it out of like the bathroom or something and put that whole thing over him. But the cover in the rim of the toilet, like something you can like detach or something, he put the rim over his head, like, and the cover was like behind his head, essentially making him one of like the toilet head people. So at this point, Tommy's like, okay, this is obviously a prank. This is clearly, at this point, a joke. It's not the funniest joke ever, but one thing I can say is that Ben is sure dedicated to this joke. He is sure dedicated because probably wasn't getting too many laughs yesterday. In fact, he got 0. Probably wasn't getting too many laughs at his Instagram story post. And he's not getting too many laughs now, but he's definitely getting a lot more attention. So props to trying, I guess. But anyways, so Tommy and Ben walk to the back of the class, sit down. They just look at it. Or sorry, Tommy and Will. And Will looks at him just like, dude, I think this is real. And Tommy's like, get out of here. It's obviously not real. This is clearly a joke. No way this kid's being serious. This is just like a really long, drawn-out, unfunny joke that he thinks is funnier than it actually is. And Will's like, nah, dude, like, he wasn't like laughing or smiling or looking at people. Like, he wasn't looking at people looking for the attention. You know, if you're kind of doing like a little I don't know, physical comedy, what would that? I mean, it's like a visual comedy thing. I think physical comedy is more like you fall down or something. Like, it's a comedy bit where it's physically there, right? You're dressing up to be a clown or whatever. And normally if you do that, you might be like smiling a little bit, maybe trying to stay in character, but you're kind of looking around, gauging how people are reacting. But Ben seemed as if, you know, he was very much just like keeping to himself. Like, Buddy was not looking at the outside world, as if like he was like, nope, this is me. Like, why would people look at me? Like, why would people look at me funny? They're not looking at Tommy funny. They're not looking at Will funny. Like, why would they look at me funny? And Tommy, like, when he hears Will say this, is like, dude, like, get out of here. Like, obviously not. Will's like, dude, I don't know, man. So anyways, when the teacher gets in, she kind of like stops, looks at Ben, and it's kind of like, that's funny, Ben. And Ben speaks up for the first time, says, what is? Like in an almost slightly aggressive tone. And the teacher's like, oh, the toilet thing around your head. He's like, and? The teacher's like, oh, okay. This teacher was pretty chill. I mean, instead of being like demanding he take it off, the teacher was like, okay, like whatever. I mean, it's not really impeding class. Yeah, actually, you know what? I take that back. It is, in my opinion, impeding class a little bit because everyone is looking at this and they can't stop talking about it. They're clearly distracted over the fact this kid is wearing a toilet on his head, which is understandably distracting. Yeah, so I don't know. The teacher goes on with the class. Everyone's kind of murmuring about it a little bit, but eventually it dies down because at a certain point it's like, well, the joke's only so funny, man. Like, the joke is only so funny, and we're only going to care about it for so long. If you want to be kind of, like, weird and have this kind of, like, peacockish attire and, like, try and get attention, it's going to get old fast, especially if you're doing the same thing every day. Anyways, though, so things start to heat up. Things start to heat up a little bit because later on in that class, I don't know exactly, I wasn't given the exact context to why Ben's name was brought up. Maybe there was a project or something, or maybe someone needed a pencil. It was like, hey, Ben, can you get me a pencil? For some reason, someone casually referenced his name because they needed to. For the sake of the story, let's say someone was asking for a pencil, because it could have very well been that. Anyways, Ben, someone's like, it wasn't Tommy or Will. It was some random kid. He's like, hey, like, Ben, can I have a pencil? And Ben, like, snaps at this kid, like, what did you call me? And Ben's like, what? Or the kid's like, what? Ben's like, I don't know who this Ben is. And, like, people are kind of looking at him funny because he's, like, taking it super, super seriously. Like, he's actually visibly upset. And at this point, I think everyone at the very beginning was thinking, oh, this is like a joke. Like, it's not that funny, but it's a joke. But now people were confused because they're like, this is a very weird execution of this joke where you're extremely hostile to anyone who questions the legitimacy of this like character you're putting on. Anyways, so the kid's like, I'm really confused. Like, the kid just doesn't understand why Ben's getting so mad. He's like, my name's not Ben. It is Skibidi. So the kid, like, cracks a little bit of a smile thinking, like, okay, well, Ben is just, like, putting on a character, and he's actually doing a really good job with this character because he had me fooled for a second that, you know, I did something wrong. Ben does not, like, he does not have a smile. He does not, like, break for a second. You know, when you're, like, part of, like, a joke or something, or you're, like, messing around with the boys, and, like, you be, like, super serious, saying something ridiculous for a second, and then eventually you just crack a smile because you can't keep a straight face saying what you're saying, you know what I mean? It's one of those situations. And this was not the case. No smile was cracked. Is this a straight pan face, whatever. So at this point, like, Will turns to Tommy, and Tommy just looks at him with this look of, like, oh my God. Because Will kind of has a look of, like, I told you so, bro. Like, and Tommy looks at him with a sense of, like, he might be onto something. Because Tommy did not believe that this was serious. But now, this was getting more and more convincing that it might be serious. So anyways, they get back home. And once again, Ben posts on his Instagram story. So Tommy's on his, like, watching reels or something. And just his daily dose of watching people just get brutally disembodied on Instagram reels, as, you know, it happens, you know. And he goes on the stories again. He sees Ben posted again. So he's like, okay, maybe this is about the thing. Goes on, and Ben posts this long, like, rant on his story about, like, oh, people at my school aren't respecting the fact that I'm Skibidi Toilet now. Like, I was called Ben by one of my classmates. Like, this is ridiculous. You guys need to have some respect for me, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. And it was like a deranged paragraph, and it was like 15 different stories, like, ranting. Very, like, if this was a joke, Buddy took it way too far. And at this point, Tommy does not think it's a joke anymore. Yeah, so anyways, almost as soon as Tommy is done, like, going through all the 15 stories, he gets a call from his friend Will. And Will is like, I told you. As soon as Tommy picked up, he's like, I told you. Did you see the stories? Did you go on Instagram? Tommy's like, yeah, actually, I just finished, like, looking at them as soon as you called me. And so they talk for a little bit, and they're like, okay. At this point, Tommy is convinced that this is more likely real than it's a bit. And if it's a bit, well, it's like the worst, it's the most poorly executed joke he's ever seen. Because at this point, like, I don't know. One, I think it's clear the reaction is just like, no one's finding this funny. So you would at least, maybe if you don't want to, like, you know, quit the character cold turkey, whatever, sure. But you at least wind it down, or at least try and change it up. Unless by changing it up, it means make you seem like a deranged psychopath spamming stories and screaming at people when you're wearing a literal toilet head on your head, bro. Like, how do you not know that you're the strange one here? Anyways, though, so yeah, it's likely, they both agree that it's likely he's being serious. Not super sure the implications of that are, but they think he's being serious. And the next day in school is the most insane thing ever. If you thought that the last couple days for the kid who thinks he's Skibidi Toilet has been insane, well, you're definitely in for something special, because the following day, it's the end of the story, actually. The next day is the end of the story. But it is, I would say, 10 times more insane, ridiculous, crazy, however you want to put it, than the last 2 days, which I know is a big, I know I'm saying a lot, but trust me on this one. If you made it this far into the video and you're watching on YouTube, I'd love it if you could go down and comment toilet down below. That will be the secret word of the day. And I'm going to do my best to leave as many hearts as I possibly can on your comments. But if you want the best chance of me seeing your comment, comment the secret word of the day, toilet, 3 separate times. It's more notifications will be in my feed, and I'll see, it'll be more likely I see you. And also, I do reply to people randomly, especially if you're quick and early, so of course have notifications on. But I do guarantee a reply, even if it takes 1 or 2 days, if you leave a comment as a super thanks comment. It's you go to the comment section, you're about to leave a comment, and you click the heart with the $ icon in it. I will give you a full-fledged good reply, like not just a thanks, man, but like I'll actually try and reply, and of course you'll get a heart. So that's a guaranteed way if you're curious. And if you're a YouTube viewer and you don't know, I also have a Spotify that's linked in the description. And there's a few other links in the description. I have a Cameo if that's something you're interested in for the next month of January. Prices are reduced. I don't know, just decided to do that. Also, if you're interested in starting a YouTube channel or making money on YouTube specifically, I have a link where I've basically put together all the knowledge I've gained over the last 5, 6, 7 years of doing this. I put it together in a course. It'll only take you 4 to 5 hours, and I basically tell you everything I know. And there's a few other links down there as well. I've linked some stuff on Amazon that might help you with a setup if you're going to make a YouTube channel or just post or make any online content. They're linked. It's like a special link. So I sign up with the Amazon referral program. So I get a commission and you don't pay anything more. So it helps me out. But I've also been told if you just click the link on Amazon and then buy something else unrelated, I also get a commission of that. So if you don't want to buy any YouTube equipment, but you're going to buy something on Amazon, just click one of those links and then buy the thing anyways. I don't know, man. And with that being said, let's get into probably the craziest day in this school's history. Anyways, so yes, a day in school that will go down in history for Tommy and Will and everyone else at that school, and infamously so for Ben. Anyways, they get to school. And first half of the day, totally normal. But then they get to the class. And Ben does not appear. He's late. He's not there. And Ben isn't usually 15 minutes early to class every day, right? But he's not normally late. No one's really late in high school. I mean, sometimes, but you're normally prompt on time. At least when I went to high school, people kind of had to be there on time. If you're a minute late, the teacher would just be so mad for some reason. Bro, relax. Not that deep. Anyways, though, so Ben eventually walks in 5 minutes into class. And the teacher's like, Ben, where have you been? And Ben's like, I'm taking over this class for a couple of minutes. It's necessary. He's walking in with his Skibidi toilet head or whatever. And he walks to the front of the class. And the teacher is too stunned to respond. Otherwise, I think the teacher would have never allowed this. But Ben stands in the front of the class. And he's like, I need to make an announcement to all of you guys. From this point on, I will be referred to as Skibidi. I am now embracing my new life as a Skibidi toilet, and you guys will not stop or stand in my way. I will not allow any of you to have any disrespect for me from this point on. And if I hear anyone call me by the name Ben, it's on sight. Basically insinuating that he would have a physical altercation with anyone who referred to him not by Skibidi. This generation is officially ruined. Leave a like on the video if you wanted. Anyways, so yeah, sure enough, the subscriber and his friend are just sitting in the back of the class what? Jaw slacked, whatever. And that's when some kid in the front of the class is like, okay, Ben. I think he did it on purpose. And the way he said it, and just because if someone, I feel like if I was in that situation, I wouldn't say anything just because I would just be so uncomfortable by how weird and strange this was. I would just want this guy to sit down and allow the day to go on. I would just want that so badly that I wouldn't say anything. I wouldn't want to risk prolonging this epic tirade, right? Anyways, so Ben's like, what? He screamed that. I'm not going to scream it because I don't want to disturb anyone around me. And this kid's like, yeah, oh, what, Ben? I didn't hear you. And Ben literally lunges at this kid. He jumps full force into this, basically attacking this kid. The kid's so taken off back. Ben basically lunges at him, and he's sitting at his desk and lunges at him at an angle where he, pushes him onto the ground out from his desk and is, wrestling him. And the teacher's like, Ben, get off of him. And Ben's like, my name's Skibidi. Imagine you're wrestling some kid and the teacher's like, oh, get off of him. And your response is to correct them on calling you Skibidi toilet. Oh my God, bro. What the hell? Anyways, so the security guards are called. The wrestling continues on. Some kids try and go in and break it up, but they can't. The school security guard eventually comes down there, rips Ben off this kid, and escorts him out of there. So the rest of the class is not happening. It's totally disrupted. Everyone's talking. Tommy is looking at Will, and they're just like, oh my God, this is the most ridiculous thing ever. Anyway, so the Skibidi Toilet Kid, he got suspended for a week, and I don't know, like, he eventually came back to school a week later, and I think he had to apologize, or he had to do something. He did not wear a Skibidi toilet head in. He did not make a sound. He stopped showing up to class, and at this point, they actually haven't seen from him for a long time. He came back after a week of being suspended for a couple days, and then he just dipped. But he just never showed up again. So I don't know if he went to a different school or just is taking a break or probably needs to go to a mental hospital. If we're being straight up about this. If you actually think you're Skibidi Toilet, dude, you probably need some help. Guys, Skibidi Toilet disease has gotten out of control. So today we have a story time of this kid who almost murks. I'm not going to say the full-on word because YouTube's going to get me, but basically game ends, murks, almost takes out his entire family because they said, you cannot watch any more Skibidi Toilet tonight. Yes, the brain rot has consumed the minds of too many children. The Skibidi Toilet disease has gone too far. And that is today's story. So sit back, relax, get comfortable. Leave a like on this video right now to claim your free nothing. Subscribe to the channel if you are new and like stories. With that being said, let's just jump right into it. Anyways, so we're going to call the subscriber who submitted this story Sid. So Sid, during the week this happened, because this happened kind of recently, but for about a week, Sid was going over to his cousin's house. His cousin was a lot younger. Sid was around 18. His cousin was around 8. So it's not like him and his cousin are just going to be chilling, playing games together, hanging out, having a good time. He basically went over there because his cousin's mom, his aunt needed help babysitting the cousin, and just because she was having, there's a lot of people there, but a lot of them were busy, and she basically just needed some help. So Sid's mom very graciously volunteered him. I always love it when your parents, volunteer you to do something, and somehow, they take all the credit for it. Like, your mom's like, oh, my son can do that. And, the person or the mom, that she offers you to, it's like, wow, that's so nice. Looking at your mom, it's like, bro, I'm the one doing the work here. At least give me the credit. If I'm being forced to do this, I should at least receive the credit for it. Anyways, so Sid had a cousin, and the cousin was always a bit of a problem, and we're going to call this guy Ben. And Ben had contracted the Skibidi Toilet virus, and it was pretty bad. He would spend all day watching Skibidi Toilet videos, whether he was in school, whether he was home, whether he was on a rocket ship to the moon, it doesn't matter. But he could be in the pilot ship in $1 million moon, a rocket ship ride to the moon, where you look outside and you see the stars and the planets, and it's so magical. But Buddy would be looking at his iPad on a downloaded Skibidi Toilet episode 48 video, watching it again and again and again for the entire duration. That's how bad the Skibidi Toilet disease has gotten him. Yeah, so anyways, this kid has a bad case of the Skibidi Toilet virus, and while Sid, the subscriber, didn't necessarily know that going in, either way, he knew that it was going to be pretty annoying to be over there, and that it definitely wasn't something he was excited to do. So the whole time, he was kind of like, Mom, are you serious? Do I actually need to do this? And his mom was like, yes, Sid, you should go help out your family, the only people who will be there for you. And low-key in Sid's mind, he's like, dude, I know for a fact my little cousin, if it was between saving my life and watching, Skibidi Toilet for 5 minutes, my little cousin, bro, he would 100% pick watching Skibidi Toilet for 5 minutes. We're at this level of brain rot. Anyways, so eventually Sid goes over there. He's going to be there for about a week, pulls up to the house. His aunt greets him at the door. And immediately as he opens the door, he sees his aunt's face, and she's like, oh, it's so great to see you. I'm so happy. Thank you so much for doing this. And there's a very faint sound coming from behind her. Can you guys guess what that sound is? Yes, it is very faintly, Skibidi bop bop bop, yes, Skibidi bop bop beep. The freaking Skibidi Toilet song that has plagued my nightmares for the number of Skibidi Toilet Kid videos I've had to do. It's plagued my nightmares at this point. Anyways, you can faintly hear that song in the background. So anyways, the subscriber Sid is looking at the aunt like, oh boy, this about to be long. So she's like, come with me. Come upstairs. You have the guest room, you have your own bathroom. Honestly, not a bad gig. Yeah, so anyways, right, sure enough, the subscriber's walking upstairs, and he passes by Ben, his cousin's room. And he passes by, and he looks inside, and it is the most brain rot thing he's ever seen. Ben has two monitors going. He's holding an iPad. So 3 screens are going at the same time. On both of the monitors, there's a different Skibidi toilet video playing with no volume. Just like in the background playing for like background, I don't know. I don't even know what's going on. There's 2 screens going on. They both have Skibidi toilet running. And then on his iPad, he has the Skibidi toilet song, like 8-hour edition, just looped again and again. And he's just like spacing out into space. Like, Buddy really sacrificed his brain cells to Skibidi toilet. Buddy did a satanic sacrifice of every single brain cell, and now there's literally nothing left besides air in his head, which kind of unfortunate. You know what I mean? Like, you kind of hate to see it. And real quick, I want to let you know, if you want a custom video from me, I am on Cameo. You can go to the description, either on YouTube or on Spotify, or if you're on YouTube, go to the pinned comment and click View More, and it is the link on screen that says Get a Video from me. Anyways, though, so yeah, sure enough, right, the subscriber's just like, oh my God, like the brain rot is so real. Anyways, right, so sure enough, the subscriber is kind of thinking to himself, okay, this about to be a long week, which definitely long week was an understatement since he almost got actually murked by the Skibidi toilet kit. You guys will see how that happens in a second. It's pretty crazy. Anyways, though, so sure enough, the first day, because he got there pretty late, he basically just went to bed and like whatever. Like he could hear like the Skibidi toilet song playing all night. Like he got up at 2 a.m. to take a pee, and he walks by the little cousin's room, and he actually hears Skibidi bop bop bop. Like he was probably asleep at this point. But imagine you go to sleep and the last thing you hear is the Skibidi toilet song. And imagine waking up in the morning and the first thing, like you're gently awoken by Skibidi bop 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 every day. Every day. I think I'd actually lose all my brain cells too. I think my mental capabilities would approach 0, and I'd only be able to communicate in Skibidi bops and yes yeses. That's how bad it would be. Anyways, though, so yeah, sure enough, this kid's up to something. And for 6 of the 7 days, I'm going to quickly summarize 6 of the 7 days because the real crazy drama happens on the 7th day. And, you know, I'm trying to cut to the chase here. For the 6 days, this kid is actually extremely easy to babysit. Ben basically sits there all day watching the Skibidi toilet. And the subscriber is genuinely concerned for Ben because remember that what I described that he was watching on the first day, which is literally just the Skibidi toilet soundtrack with like random Skibidi toilet episodes on 2 monitors, like playing on mute. Yeah, that's what he watched every day. Imagine consuming 24 hours worth of the Skibidi toilet soundtrack every day. And I say 24, I know like I jokingly say in the intros, trying to describe Skibidi toilet syndrome, being like, oh, they're watching it for 25 hours a day. No, but I'm serious. This kid's watching it for 24 hours a day or listening to the song because subconsciously, like that song is going into his brain while he's asleep, even if he's not consciously like rendering it, because it literally plays 24 hours a day. Like at some point, the subscriber was wondering, is he like cursed by some evil witch where if he doesn't listen to Skibidi toilet for a second that he'll like turn into a frog or something? Like the subscriber was genuinely confused why anyone would willingly do that to themselves. Yeah, so I don't know, the subscriber is pretty concerned, but the really concerning thing and the really dangerous, crazy thing happens on the 7th day. I just want to say though, I'm not telling you the secret word of the day yet. I will tell you that later. But all I can really do, because I get so many comments, is heart as many comments as I can. However, I know some of you guys would like a custom reply to your comment. So one thing I do every single day is I filter by super thanks, which is a type of comment, and I give a personal reply to each one of those. All you got to do is you got to click the comment section, click the little heart with the $sign, and then leave a comment like that. And I filter and respond to every single one every single day. Anyways, So yes, finally, let's talk about the 7th day. If this was Five Nights at Freddy's, man, we're playing 2020 mode on this one. Like, it's about to be bad. Yeah, so anyways, on the 7th day, this is when actually the whole family is getting back a little bit earlier. So part of the reason why the subscriber needed to come over was because this was a super busy week at work for both the mom and the dad, so the aunt and the uncle. Normally, whenever they had super busy weeks, it just so happened that, it was happening at different times. So like the mom could come back early or the dad could come back early. But for some reason, this was overlapping both times. They had to go. Also, the little cousin was out from school for that week, so they couldn't put him in school and have him in aftercare or whatever. It was a really bad situation. It was just like it was a storm of bad things happening at once. So they kind of needed some assistance. So anyways, on the 7th day, both the aunt and the uncle got back at normal times. So they were thinking of having like a sit-down dinner with all of them together. So basically, when the subscriber was doing the babysitting, all that he was instructed to do was order pizza, pick it up, bring the slice up to the Skibidi Toilet Kid, who's just like basically drooling, sitting there having no thoughts, listening to Skibidi Toilet all day, and just give him a slice of pizza, then go back downstairs. Remember, this is like the easiest job the subscriber has ever done. Like literally one of the easiest jobs ever. Because all he had to do is just sit there. So yeah, sure enough, right, the subscriber, is just on this day, it's a little different. Because this time, the parents are gonna come back. They're gonna cook a normal meal. They're all gonna sit at the dinner. It's kind of like as a thank you, as kind of like a send-off thank you. Which the subscriber was paid pretty good. Like he got some pay. Which, by the way, I kind of segued into that. If you guys are interested in making money with YouTube, I also sell a course of everything that I've learned over my period. Would have helped me out back in the day. It is the second link in the description if you're on YouTube or Spotify or pinned comment. And if you're interested, go ahead and you can learn on there, but it's totally up to you. Anyways, sure enough, on this day, they were all sitting together. And you know what that means, guys? That means the Skibidi Toilet Kid has to be away from his Skibidi Toilet song. Because they're going to make him sit down and have dinner as a family. And you can only imagine, probably from the title of this video, you guys probably already know how bad it went, but you can only imagine how bad this goes. So let's just jump into the dinner from hell. So anyways, the day comes. It's around 6. The mom gets back, greets the subscriber, thanks him again for being there for the whole week. And then sure enough, after that, she gets to making a great dinner, like a big banquet, basically. And the dad gets back home, and eventually, it's time for dinner. So the mom calls up to the Skibidi Toilet Kid and is like, Ben, it's dinner. Please come down. We're going to have a family dinner. And I feel like they haven't had a family dinner in forever because Ben's like, Mom, I'm watching Skibidi Toilet. And Mom's like, okay, honey, like, you can watch that after dinner. And Ben's like, I'm watching Skibidi. Which honestly is super impressive that he could say words that are not part of the Skibidi Toilet song. The fact that he's able to communicate in more than just Skibidi bop bops and yes yeses is actually to some degree pretty impressive. So anyways, the mom starts to get a little angry. She's like, Ben, we've been gone all week and we're just gonna have a nice quick dinner as a family. You can watch that Skibidi Dibbidi whatever went later. You can watch that on your own time. Like I asked for 30 minutes of your time, so you can say thank you for Sid. Sorry, I forgot the name. Say thank you to Sid for being such a good babysitter. He's like, Ma'am, I'm watching Skibidi. Just bring the food to me. So the mom goes up the stairs and is like, Ben, you do not talk to me like that. And it goes into the room. Then Sid is overhearing yelling, going back and forth, and Sid's kind of just sitting there. With having little glances to the dad. And they're kind of looking at each other, glancing back and forth what the hell? What is going on? All this kind of stuff. Eventually, though, the subscriber watches as Ben comes down, looking furious, so angry. And he's still holding his iPad. Ben is just angry. Right, in Ben's mind, he's going to be at the table watching the Skibidi Toilet. But the reason that he's furious is because he can't watch Skibidi Toilet with 2 additional monitors playing Skibidi Toilet episode. Like, it's so insane. Anyways, they sit down. They all sit down at the table. And Ben's mom's like, well, like, thank you so much, Sid. It's so great that you could be here. It's Skibidi Bob Bob Bob, yes, yes. All of a sudden, you start hearing the Skibidi Toilet song at full blast. And Sid looks over, and this kid has his iPad out on the table, purposely 100% volume of Skibidi Bob Bob. Like, it's just so bad. So anyways, the mom's like, Ben, could you please put that away and turn off your YouTube Skibidi Bop nonsense for 1 second? We're having a nice dinner with Sid, who spent his entire week here babysitting you. And at this point, Sid's like, oh my God. Because remember, he had such an easy week. He had such an easy time up until this moment. And Ben gives the dirtiest look across the table. He's like, no Skibidi, there will be consequences. And Ben's mom's like, sure, I don't care. Like, no more Skibidi. He's like, last chance for Skibidi. He's acting like some kind of weird Wizard Gorlock type. I don't even know, bro. Bro's acting like a mysterious Mr. Something, right? But Buddy's really threatening his family over a Skibidi Toilet right now. Anyways, though, so he puts down the iPad, and he gets up and leaves. And at this point, Ben's mom's like, fine, whatever. I don't even care anymore. She's like, you know what? Thank you so much for being here, Sid. We appreciate you, even if Ben doesn't know how to appreciate yet. He's still a younger boy and doesn't know how to truly express his feelings, which, dude, I'm pretty sure Ben expressed his feelings, which were murderous rage over Skibidi Toilet. I don't think the problem here is expressing his feelings. I think the problem here are his feelings. Yeah, so in just a second, you're going to see how this kid, the Ben kid, takes revenge and almost murks, game ends, life ends his entire family, including the subscriber, over not being able to watch Skibidi Toilet. Real quick, if you made it this far into the video, I'd like you to comment toilet down below. That'll be the secret word of the day. I'm going to try and heart as many comments as I possibly can that say the secret word of the day. I've been on here tapping hearts, giving as many away as I possibly can. But once again, if you want like a heart and a guaranteed reply from me, all you got to do is comment a super thanks and you can customize the comment. I'm also going to be filtering for channel members. So if you're a channel member, all you got to do is hit that join button if you want to join the channel. It's like the same thing as subbing to someone on Twitch. I'll also be filtering for your comments, so I'll try and you guys will have a much higher heart receiving percentage. As well, you get some custom emojis. And of course, as before, link in the description on YouTube and Spotify if you want a cameo, a custom video for me, or you're interested in starting your own YouTube video and you want some tools and resources and education on that. And of course, if you want to submit your own stories, go to Instagram, look up Connor Pugs, drop me a little follow on there, and then DM me / message me your story. So now, how will Sid and the family react to Ben almost murdering them over Skibidi Toilet? Let's go. Yeah, so sure enough, Sid and all the other family members, the mom and the dad, are sitting at the table. And that's when Sid kind of looks at the mom. Because she's like, they kind of look at each other because they hear something. They hear like footsteps creaking, kind of like footsteps of someone sneaking around. And that's when they see Ben re-enter from around the corner. And he's grabbed a kitchen knife. But he has a kitchen knife like Chucky holds a kitchen knife in that movie, bro. This stuff turned into a horror movie real quick. So anyways, right, the aunt's like, what are you doing with that? He said, give me Skibidi Toilet. Give me Skibidi Toilet. And at this point, the uncle's like, son, put that down right now. He said, I will put it down if you let me listen to Skibidi Toilet at the dinner table. Bro, what? Huh? Are you see? Yeah, no, that's my reaction too, boys. Like I honestly don't know what's going on. All I know is Skibidi Toilet disease is bad. So anyways, kind of Sid's thinking on his feet because he's like, oh my God, I'm trying not to get murked by my little cousin over Skibidi Toilet. Sid says, hey, bud, put down the knife and you can watch Skibidi Toilet at the table. Do you guys agree? Looks at the aunt and uncle. They both like nod their heads like, yeah, sure. Anyways, Ben puts down the knife. on like the far end of the table, so not even close to him. Because if he put it close to him, then maybe he could have reached for it, and I don't even know, man. Yeah, like he could have done something. Anyways, he puts his knife at the far end of the table, and then picks up his iPad and starts listening to Skibidi, bop, 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 yes, yes. So the uncle, or the dad of the spoiled kid, or the cousin, I guess, gets up very calmly, walks by, and then just grabs him in like a tackle chokehold and brings him to the floor. And the kid's like, get off of me, I'm watching Skibidi. Yeah, so let's just say that Sid left. He went back home. He told his mom what happened. She freaks out. It's crazy. They don't get like police involved. They don't tell the news because they're not trying. Obviously, this kid has some problems, some Skibidi toilet-induced problems. So they send him to some psychiatrist or something, and I think he went to some institution. I don't really have many updates after this. All I can say is if my kid was going on a Skibidi toilet murderous rampage, yeah, bro, they're going to the mental hospital. They need some help because I don't know, man. If you're trying to kill someone over Skibidi toilet, I think it just speaks for itself. But you might need some help, man.